northwest side, but it's not meant to be. The wall is laid down. Na'Vi rolling through in the hovercraft. Rio hits the deck, and McGrellin now looks for the off angle. One down for Na'Vi, potentially.
Oh yeah, sorry, but you two are
together. Do Carrillo a favor from earlier in this match.
He was able to hold them all together. 4 players stayed alive because of him, and now the other 3 need to keep him in the fold. Lemon with suppression out, and Na'Vi have pulled the hovercraft into their toolkit. See if they can deliver on it like Incilio do. The nade on the bounce from Team Spirit takes down 4MV on the northwest side. In the meantime, they lose Nomi, but 3 players will play on.
Good arc on that nade coming through from Team Spirit. Takes down Baron. Be lording over any land on that side of the map now. In comes Alpha 7 though, rolling through in the vehicle. Has to send away, but 10 eliminations on the game for Alpha 7. Trying to break that
sorry
curse already out. Leaving
Falcons in their dust.
We've seen a lot of high elimination early games from individual teams right now, Blank. We haven't really seen that many times where that changes from these early games, from these mid games into a late game.
YouTube လက်တော့ Facebook လာကြည့်ရတာ YouTube ကြပြီနော် YouTube ပြင်ရပြီ
This is a brilliant result from the north side of prison, sorry, from the top of the prison hills on the south edge of it. There's a lot of control to be had, and if Na'Vi can't stop them, I don't think anyone else in this lobby can right now in this game either.
It's the first time that Alpha 7 caught a little bit of luck, caught a little bit of momentum. I don't think they're going to let that go to waste at all. Snowix, final player, nades bobbling over the top.
ရပြီအဲ့လိုမလုံးနဲ့လူကြီးအဲ့လိုမလုပ်ပါဘူးတတ်နိုင်တော့ရေပမာပြနေနေတာဟောငါတို့များလို့ထိုင်းမှာတော့နေနေအမနေအဲ့လိုဒုက္ခတွေတော့ဖြစ်နေတာပဲတာကြီးငါလည်းတိုက်ရွှင်းလွင်တာအနေလွင်ပြနေရအဲ့ဒီVPN ကိစ္စတွေဒါရှုပ်တာတိုင်းနေရလေတိုင်းကောင်းတယ် VPN နဲ့ကျတော့အဲ့လိုတစ်ချက်ဖတ်ဆိုကြောက်သွားရင်မတက်နိုင်ဘူးပြန်လောက်ရချင်းပြန်လောက်ရ
We only have this match and 2 more to play.
3အောင်ကျန်เนาะကျွန်တော် 5k ကဲအတင်းနေလဲကျွန်တော်ဒီမှာဆို10သိန်းအောင်ကျန်နေရလားစာကလေးနဲ့ဒီပဲ prison ရဲ့ high ground ပဲပေးလိုက်တာဗျတော့ကျွန်တော် late game ရောက်လာပြီစာကလေးက straight 6TT ဒီနေရာမှာဆိုရင်လဲကျွန်တော်ထပ်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်4အောင်တော့ survive ဖြစ်နေသေးတယ်ကျွန်တော်ဒီဆုံးပြင်မှာပဲကျွန်တော် RCB နဲ့တော့တုတ်နေပြီ Shachi တော့ shot 1ကအတင်းဒီမှာ class လဲနောက်ဆုံး1 lap ပဲကျန်တယ်ဒီမှာတော့ RCB ပဲထပ်ပြီးတော့ white တော့ white ထားတယ်ကျွန်တော် RCB တွေနဲ့နောက်ဆုံး Sara တို့2ယောက်ကျန်နေသေးတယ်ဗျ open 2-1ဖြစ်သွားပြီ
Silas is able to keep them in the running. Wilds fully out.
တင်းတယောက်တော့ရောက်တော့ပြန်တော့ကင်နေပြီအကျဲ
The veteran needs to be a sentinel now. Safeguard the rest of his team. The nade over the top doesn't quite connect. King could have gone down just there, but the first aid will come through because of it. Hwai though flushed away. AJ under pressure and Silas.
A7 ရောက်လာပြီ A7 လာ join ဖို့များသွားပြီ RCB 1တီတော့တေချာဘောလာတုံပါဗျ A7
Loxy and play on with 2. It's the veteran and the super sub now. Silas and Sara.
အော်ဟိုဘက်ချမ်းမှာ sorry.
Need to hold their own. They need more points off the back of this. If Snowix gets up to a top 5, it's looking dire for them. And RCB were in a good position, but they just let Thunder Talk flow on past them. Team Spirit's got a good idea of where this is all going down as well, and they open up with one. Xing.
အော် Team Spirit ပဲရောက်လာတယ်အဲ့ TT ကတော့လွယ်တော့မလွယ်တော့ဒီနေ့ပြန်ဝင်ဖို့တော့မလွယ်ဘူး RCB ကလည်းဘောနဲ့ထောက်ထားတယ်အကျဲ
around it, but it's a hailstorm sent to him by Silas. AJ does manage to dip one more spray set, but the last will connect. The reload there, and he's got the Bison. Plenty of ammo in the magazine here to find him. As the nade tries to push him back off the rock. The aggression here with the DBS stepping out wide, slowly taking down his health bar. And RCB have 6 points on the board on this match. 5 of them earned by the old champ himself, Silas.
Silas, don't drop the bait here. One of the few veterans that is still fearsome. Into 2024.
Okay, ဒီမှာ class တွေတယောက်တည်းပဲ survive တော့ရအောင်လုပ်နေပြီ တင်းနဲ့ကိုတင် run point မပေါင်းနေတယ်လားတော့ Sarah နဲ့ Nate တွေရောက်ရေးဖြုတ်နေ2ယောက်တည်းကိုဖြုတ်နေပြီ sideline နဲ့ကျွန်တော် Sarah က Matic လဲ Oh shit ကောင်းနေရောက်ရေး3G ပဲလာရအောင်ဒီနေ့က Oh my god
from Japan having an impact here. Now the last to stand for them as Silas has been knocked and flushed. The roll around the side draws RCB's game to a close.
TK ရပဲဖျက်ချပေးလိုက်ဟလား TK လည်းဒီဘက်မှာရှစ်ကောက်လိုက်တော့တက်လာပြီ line နေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်3 man ကျွန်တော် TK ပြန်တော့ bat တော့ bat လာပြီကျွန်တော် shot 3တော့ရောက်လာပြီ point နေ130ကျော်သွားပြီเนาะ112 run 5ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီရဲ့ point တွေတော့စပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ပေါင်းနေပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီဘက် TK chicken ရရင်ဖြစ်နိုင်เนาะရောနေမရယွန်စရာကြီးရောက်တကောင်နဲ့ save play ဆော့နေရောက် shot fight ရောက်လာပြီတဲ့
Galaxy needs a top 4. And they're likely to get it actually. No one's really looking over towards Snow.
ဒီဘက်တော့ TK အတွက်ချမ်းပဲတိုင်းလို့
He holds him in. He can live out.
Navi လည်းချမ်းတယ် Navi တွေကတော့စောပိုင်းခဏကကျွန်တော်လိုက်ကြသွားတဲ့အချိန်မှာ Navi ကနေမ Galaxy ကိုဝင်ချတာတိုင်းလို့ Galaxy လည်းကျွန်တော် shot 1ဆိုတော့လည်း fresh shot ဖြစ်တယ်တော်တော်လေး
They have to deal with Navi down towards that south side.
We were talking about the momentum that Alpha 7 have had. They have been a bit quieter now, struggling to get rid of Snowix.
Okay, ကျွန်တော်စာကလေး TK ပဲထပ်ပြီးပေးတာရယ်ကြီးကြီးပါ TK ထိန်းတော့ထိန်းနိုင်မလားတော့မသိဘူးကျွန်တော်ကြည့်ရတော့မလွယ်တော့မလွယ် cover အရင်နဲတယ် roll round ဖြစ်တဲ့အပြင်မှာ cover တော်တော်နဲတာတယ်လားနာဗီတော့စာပြီး push လာပြီး porter house မှာဆိုရင်လည်းကျွန်တော် VD တင်းလုံးဥနေရပါတော့နာဗီကတော့ကျွန်တော်မထူးဆက်ကပဲခင်းရတော့မှာပေါ့နော်ကျုံဟိုပဲရှိတယ်ဘာမှမရှိဘူး
Coming all the way from South Korea.
D+, I mean, they played a good game. There have been some good rotations from D+ before. Enigma Galaxy took complete control of one of those rotations, but it was smart when they made it happen.
Oh, there's no one in
Her angle. That nade might just spell doom here as Snowix is enveloped by the blue. Navi steps back.
We did a yen challenge now, and now my little DK la chowning. Talong. Final try maybe.
They tried to wrap around towards D+ Kia. Does
connect.
Sorry, on towards point Donkey ID.
A little all over too large. Not in the low.
A lot of damage sent back their way. And there is a hold here for Void Donkey to be seen. Flip is super low. Last player for Navi and Alpha 7 have mounted the hilltop here as well. The crossfire.
Clash B, Flicker, Clash B, young, Zita, oh, TK! Ah, TK! Ah, Lara, hold there. Zita, Yakawara, Dilla.
Zeta, the clutch maestro himself, another team walks
TK.
in.
Zita, Kawara, young, Bialebi water, the chap, very la.
Moving downwards, D+ gave a
Power Kawari, young,
elimination, but 14 elims.
You trying out the right time, they get right time, and I trying out of what deep are, a large or TK or the Gonnever Tabikila, you are. Get an arm of shoe, Lara, that was Zita, Kawara, let you. If who was a two red or democracy shed 3 yeah. RCBD ဘက်မှာကျွန်တော်ကြီးอ่ะကျွန်တော်8កောင်လောက်ရသွားတာတော့တိတ်တော့ပျော်ဖို့မကောင်းဒီလားကျွန်တော် democracy တကောင်နဲ့ safe play ဆော့နေရအောင် shot 3တဲ့အနည်းဆုံး5မှတ်ပဲ shot 3က0 point နဲ့ကြီးတော့မရ
The northeast side that'll keep
ဘယ်မှာတော့ A7 ကြီးတော်များ15កောင်
potential a second place likely
ဒီလဲကျွန်တော် shot 3
wait for this
တော့မပါတော့
it comes through D+. Depends how quickly this team goes down, but they're waiting things out.
Two players on the north need to make their move. Alpha 7 have control of the high ground and of the ridgeline.
They've got
a lot of death crates to loot up around as well.
Towards
the side of Mafioso, you can see he's starting to open up that side of the map. Keep it under control. Snowix knows he needs to strike out soon. The circle closing in 5 seconds, and it will push him away and into this fight.
Smart play from D+. They move closer towards prison. I think they realize that they cleared out a lot of the western edge. Eastern side must be mainly controlled by Alpha 7. So third team has to So they angle themselves. You can see Chips constantly looking over to where Snowix is playing. Great place, but Snowix runs forward. Will have to hit the deck immediately, but he's alive.
Sano, yeah, winning. Sano.
as the blue zone pushes him. He's going to need to go for the fight.
A7 này rồi Snow đã còn này nên lúc show này.
Here on the side swipe. I don't think Snowix gets further than this.
Bây giờ nó vào làm đi Snow vậy.
His way with a hail of bullets takes him down to half HP. Snowix not completely out of it, but
Okay, Revo rồi.
and it's Rebel to get the point.
Kể cho thì kia shit tu trong mạng tỷ giáo à. Over the two rồi take down một đội A7 phiền này rồi lấy sát chọc có. Okay, okay. Chicken. Ê, nó số là miếng nào lấy miếng à, là đây rồi. Là gì tên A7 cho Alpha7 cho đi đi cho nó sống Iran kêu rồi chicken sát chọc còn này về. Nhất tình lạnh rồi.
You can see the faces of Alpha7 rivaling the audience here, rooting them on.
Miếng này mà có mà là chicken ya.
Down leaderboards they currently are, but is there a world here 7 where Alpha7 could come back if they continually have big games like this?
As much as I would want to believe, as much as I would want to say, do Brazil over and over again, it's just too far for me. And it kind of goes along the lines of what I was talking about earlier with Void Donkey. Okay, you know that first place, it's going to be a little bit too far. Where do you set your expectation to be? I feel like for Alpha7, the expectation, if possible for them, is definitely going to be at least minimum top 5. And if they even can push to that, if they can do something along the lines of what you were saying, Jason, continue on to be able to get this wins, have good performances in Miramar, then hopefully they might end up clutching up a top 3.
As you guys are noticing on your screen here in the top left
ACB
hand
nè
side,
nè fresh àများလာမှာနော်။အဲ့တော့ဒီမှာကလစီကဒီပွဲမှာshit 3D စိတ်သွားတယ်လား။ဘာပြော9 map ပါပဲလေ။
just by using the code
map ပါ
Pmgc Lucky over to PUBG Mobile official website to redeem. No Max, you cannot do that just yet.
ပဲကောင်းနော် prison ပေးတာကြီးကျွတ်တယ်တိုက်တွေကြည့်ရ။ကျွတ်တယ်ဘာတွေဖြစ်နေရလဲရင်လိုက်ရွှင်းကျွန်တော်တို့ဘက်လိုက်
As we're saying with Alpha7, I mean, this is the Alpha. See the overalls, how close they actually are for first place.
I mean, you said the keyword there.
မတော့ဘာလို့အောင်မလဲအော်နှစ်သိမ့်ဖို့ကွာတာကြီးဒီ7 fan တွေပြောငါတို့တော့18ကောင်လေးနဲ့တပွဲစားလိုက်ရပြီဆိုပါဒီရနိုင်တော့လာတယ်မီရာမာဆိုတော့ TK ကလည်းနေ့တိုင်းမီရာမာချစ်ကန်ရလေအဲ့လိုကြီးဘာလို့မရနိုင်မှာဟုတ်လား TK ကနေ့တိုင်းမီရာမာမှာချစ်ကန်စားပြရတယ်ဟိုတာပြီးသွားပြီအီရန်ကေတွေပြီးကျွန်တော်နောက်ဆုံးနှစ်ပွဲကမီရာမာကြည့်ရမှာဆိုတော့လေ
I'm actually happy to see this.
Body
It's something
build
Jason and I
Myanmar
have talked about
kite.
for the longest time. Whenever we do end up seeing Korea being able to perform really well, it kind of gives us back a flashback. I think it was to 2021, especially when he was one of the top players in the world. It has slowed down a bit, but it's good to see a resurgence out of this team. For this team, I feel like right now they're just damage control. They're starting to think already of what they're going to be doing in 2025.
Speaking of damage control, Snowix. Phenomenal
Oli
job
mà
getting
lý do vậy
top
đó.
3. We had Regnum Courier, but Silas in particular getting a ton of eliminations here, Max. But Snowix staying
Cái
alive in
cho
third
phút
place,
vì
I believe.
đọc thấy nó mà bà nào nó sói chết rồi
That gap extremely small between these two teams.
Yeah, because we saw Regnum Brown. We're going to talk about Regnum Brown having so many eliminations this game, right? But to counteract that, Snowix able to secure himself a top 3 position. So many placement points, it kind of negates the lead that could have been made at that point by Regnum Brown. So Snowix, if they end up winning, maybe this game here, the time that he was able to survive until top 3, we'll look back onto it and say that was the game that allowed him to reach first.
It's the same thing from the last match, where we had Regnum Courier close it out, but Nibig Galaxy had a ton of eliminations. So these two teams, these two titans of PUBG Mobile, battling it out constantly in back-to-back battlegrounds to try to get that trophy, but with still 2 matches left to go, it comes down to how they're going to perform on Miramar.
And it is scary to see the performances out of these teams now in back-to-back matches. Just one being able to respond to the other, keeping that margin really close. And when we started talking about some of the other teams like D+, I mean, you're going to be going into Miramar. Luckily for D+, they were able to have a good performance here as well. I really enjoyed their decision-making, the way they were able to kind of rotate there towards the west. And then they ended up punishing some of the teams as well, trying to see if they can third party. The thing for this team now going into Miramar for D+, is just going to come down to that aggression. What is this team going to be able to do if they are also I had a chance to talk to Osal at the beginning of the day, and I asked him straight up, what makes the difference for you guys going into Miramar? He said, we're just able to make faster decisions, and we're also to be just more aggressive. I feel like they've been able to implement that here in Erangel as well.
15 points for D+, as you're talking about them here. Obviously, Alpha7 with the 28. But D+, Regnum Courier, Nimba Galaxy, a 5-point difference between these two teams. This is going to be tough. I really feel like, and I really hope it's going to come down to that final match.
It is going to be the case, I really think so. With how just the rivalry is going through between Nigma Galaxy
and down
to the wire.
though, as we go on to the second page, DRX was still not seeing
Second 0 point.
super
He 0
early,
point.
and I hope there was maybe a little bit of a comeback potential in the second half of the
DRX
day.
ကြတော့မှ
But
တ်
I
မရ
think
သေး
the
ဘူး
DRX, we also might have to get to a point of saying,
ပြတ်တယ်လေးပါတဲ့ကျွန်တော်ကောင်းရွှေ bro ဒါပါ welcome ပါ
When we get to overalls, we're going to do
Yes.
exactly that here and
Please.
start to really look down on what the potential is. I mean, Influence Rage starting off the day extremely strong here, getting the win on Sandhawk, but they've been ever so quiet since. But here we go. 135 points. Regnum Karya only a 3-point difference. You have to wonder if Snowix did fall earlier in that match. How big would this lead actually be?
Big.
MGH
But D plus Care, realistically, you can talk about their decision making and the speed at which they make moves, right? You're talking to Osmal.
Material.
Scouting really is just so damn good on Miramar.
I
Really get so
am
much information on teams around them, and of course, information in a game like this allows you to make quick decision making to get control of strong positions to hopefully go the entire way in that match. So I think the D plus going on that map, there's a very good chance that they can compete with Regnum Karya and the side of Nigma Galaxy in the last 2 games.
Jason, with what you were talking about earlier in regards to Alpha 7, are they going to be able to make a push anywhere? No, it's just too far. But
ဒီကကောင်လေးတွေ go e-sport တကရောက်သွားလားတဲ့ YouTube ကဘာဖြစ်ဘာဖြစ်ပြီးပြန်လွှင့်လိုက်ပြီ YouTube ခုနကကျွန်တော် VPN ကြာတော့ YouTube ကလိုက်ကြပါ
Undertalk, Navi, all of the squads. We even saw Navi being able to bring the fight there towards Nigma Galaxy.
ဒီကောင်လေး go ပေးရောက်သွားလားဘာဖြစ်တာဘာတတင်းနေကြားကြရတယ်ပြောပြကြပါအောင်ကျွန်တော်လည်းမသိလို့
Navi actually had a really good approach.
ပြောပြကြပါအောင်ဗျ
This team is really paying attention to the teams north and northwest of them. I think they had Boyne in their kind of direction and field of view. We're just going to rotate behind it, get the eliminations on that team, and actually off the back of that had some extra hovercrafts they could use. So Navi actually been really good, but then Alpha 7 come in swinging. They see that Navi is going to fight on the side of D+.
တော့ဘုတ်ကြီးကိုလည်းကြောက်နေပါပြီမကြောက်ပါနဲ့တိုက်ရ
Off the back of that.
You know, to go back to my original question when we did see our overalls, is about which teams are we going to start counting out. I did notice it's almost a 30-point gap between first and fourth place. So my eyes are kind of looking at basically top 3, maybe even just top 2. If you're
game fight လေးတပွဲကိုထိန်းနိုင်တော့အဲ့တော့ champion ဖြစ်ပြီဆိုတော့ထင်တယ်
next 2 games if you want to have a chance.
I
တော့
think
consistent
for
ဖြစ်နေ
me,
ဆိုတော့လေ
I'm with you. I think I have
ဒီကအရေးကြီးဆုံး game fight ပါ
Maybe 4-B, there's still that slight chance, but I just don't see it happening with some of the decisions making that we've seen out of this team today.
You need to win. You need to win right now if you have to have an opportunity to compete for first place. But the thing is, doing that back-to-back and expecting Regnum Karabra and Nigma Galaxy and D plus Kia that we know is now going into Miramar, they are so good in these last 2 maps. To compete against that, I'm telling you, I think the top 3, I think you might be onto something here, Jason.
ဆက်တော့လာမလာတယ်လာမလာမ bro နှစ်ပွဲချန်နေ
Well, you know what? Before we do get into
Pin
our
namin,
mirrors,
no?
big shout out here to Kadia, the gaming and
Ngayon,
esports
knock jam eh,
district,
yeah.
and the world first immersive gaming experience for both
နှစ်
visitors
ပွဲဆို
and
တော့နောက်ထပ်တစ်နာရီ
residents.
လောက်တော့
Where video
ဆယ်
games
ခွဲ
come to
17လောက်
life.
မနေ့ကအချိန်
Global gaming communities can come together. It's actually going to be really cool to see. I cannot wait till we get to go there.
No PMWC is going to be there if it happens again. We might be able to go visit at the same time.
Man, well, obviously, while you guys are watching at home, we still have the code available for you to get 50 UC off with 10 draws in the Pmgc Lucky Spin. Use the code 2024 Pmgc and look at this Midnight Raven and
ဒီမှာတော့အကွက်3မထည့်ရ
really nice.
ဟုတ်ပါဘူးပါ
And it's time for all these teams to
အဲ့တော့
honestly.
ဆလောကရှေ့ရတွေကကြည့်မြန်ဟုတ်တယ် Facebook ကပိတ်လိုက်တာအဓိက VPN ကြောင့်ပြောတယ်
To be honest,
VPN ကြောင့်
close.
ပိတ်လိုက်တာstream ရဲ့အချိန်ပဲကြည့်လို့ရမှာ stream ပြီးကြည့်မရတော့
Let's extend it a little
အဲ့
bit
ကိစ္စ
longer.
လည်းကျွန်
Booty
တော်လုပ်
bag
နေ
and
တယ်
I'm not just kidding.
We might get
Yankee
4
Sun.
show matches.
လူတိုင်းတော့မဖြစ်
Maybe us.
They
Maybe
were
we should do
fun.
a talent show.
ဒီက line နေနေဆိုင်
They
ကျွန်
were
တော်
fun.
တို့
Cool.
အဲ့လို
Talking about the
အဆင်
next
ပြေအောင်တော့လုပ်ပြီး
Miramar matches, I feel like we kind of gotta dive in a little bit more.
RCB တကယ်ငြိမ်တာမကြိုက်တာပဲရှိတယ်
Pushing that championship rank, pushing for that first place. D plus so far for this team, I feel like that's gonna be the biggest upside for them. People expect them to do good. The worst placement for this squad so far in the 4 Miramar matches that we have played.
RCB မှာ
has been
ဂျီရ
sixth
တယောက်
place.
ပါတယ်
And they were only able
RCB
to get 1 elimination there. If we go
Reject
back and look at
hot
some of the
there.
other performances out of them,
Ah,
they were able to
reject
get third
that.
place,
Nga pala
first place,
yakora
and then
na.
on top of
By
that,
name.
back it up with eliminations. They need to take full advantage of this, and they need to make sure that they also respond to whatever RCB and Nigma Galaxy are going to do.
That's the thing I wanted to bring up actually, because I think the Regnum Karabra and Nigma Galaxy know going into these last 2 maps, Nigma Galaxy are going to be D plus.
အေးယောဝေး
Hold off their rotate. That could be an issue.
Wait,
ဒီနေ့
here
တော့
there's
နောက်ကျပွဲရှင်တော့နောက်ကျ
a
တာ
problem on the stage.
တိုက်တယ်
Sandstorm, what are you doing? Get out of
ပွဲ
here.
ဆိုတော့လည်းလွတ်မရဖိုင်နယ်ပွဲမို့လို့လွတ်မရ
What's he up to?
ဟိုတော့အားဖြင့်
He's sneaking on stage.
ဒီပွဲဆိုရင်တော့အလောက်ကြာရင်တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့
Sandstorm?
အင်ပြီ
You'll be able to see him from here, right? Definitely can. We can't say that, guys. We can't talk about them. They're too low on the leaderboard. If you rewrite that Falcons force over to RCB,
Wait,
I can
leave
get
it.
your back.
Put it up. Put it up again. Put it up again. I thought it was going to be Sandstorm.
I thought it was.
I think it might have been a false alarm.
Might have got him, actually. That's perfect.
I think it was caught in the process of doing something shady.
All right, well, you know what? Let's keep talking about the games. And you're talking about D+, you're talking about for them to have a chance here, you got to get a lot of eliminations. There's obviously, I think if you're Enigma Galaxy or you're Regnum Karya, bro, it's very hard to play in a situation. One mistake, it's going to cost you that trophy. And it's going to be so hard to pull off.
One mistake, 1 point that maybe is not secured, that could be the major issue in these last 2 matches to see who's going to be lifting the trophy.
Speaking of trophy, there he is!
It's the man! It's Sandstorm! Newbie player, you know me. You know I like to see trophies. We're at Pmgc. This trophy, I must have it. Come on.
See, this trophy's going to be mine. I'm going to take it and no one's going to stop me.
Are you sure about that?
No.
Get out of here.
Sorry.
Right now.
You know, that's the kind of bodyguard I want.
I was going to say, you definitely, if he tells you, just if not, you're going to end up getting picked up like I ended up.
No, I can see Max doing this situation. Be like, nah, I'd win.
I would not.
That's something John would do.
Psycho Pound. He can't get gold.
Should
have picked him up over his head and just threw Sandstorm.
Like you did to 7.
Next time.
Well,
you know. So let's hop back in. So let's focus up here, right? Because these teams are definitely focusing up. So if you're a player, if you're a coach here, what do you really even do in this situation? I mean, obviously the nerves can be running extremely high. I mean, Silas, he's looking for his 2nd trophy. I think the Galaxy looking for their first, be the first time a French player as well would be able to have won a Pmgc here, Max. I know that makes you happy.
I do want to bring up a very important prospect to have for these 2 matches, right?
Yep.
D+ Kia, we know their energy. We know how they rotate. We know what are their typical entry points.
Yes.
I'm not saying hot drop. I think that's something that we should not.
This is you, Hot Jukes?
No. Realistically, you know where they tend to enter from in the circle. Enigma Galaxy, Regnum Karya know that is going to be their main competition going on Miramar.
Yep.
Maybe just set up a little bit of a defensive position mid-game on the side of the circle. No D+ Kia might be coming in through, trying to negate the competition. It's unlikely, but it could be a super smart 10,000 IQ plan if they really want to commit to it.
10,000 IQ. It's like your brain's gonna explode at that point.
Let me go on full-on Hot Jukes, okay? Some of these teams need to be careful because they might end up getting hunted. And I don't mean just by being a full hot drop, they might end up getting trapped. I mean, we have the caliber of teams that we currently have on that 2nd page that are trying to get points that might just be
you know, cool. Yeah, game way out there. But no, they
Falcons, they really haven't been able to put up the performances that especially out of what we saw out of them.
I don't know. I saw that.
If we go back,
do some PV, no? Do some PV, no? Bam, you're able
to perform that well, that consistent when it comes down to Miramar. Yes, RCB was able to get a 2nd place finish on the 1st day. Yes, Enigma Galaxy yesterday, they were able to get a 2nd place and a 3rd place as well. But what are they going to be doing today? Because I honestly think that D+ is going to end up surprising us.
This is when the map order is important, yeah, on the side of 2 Miramar matches, and you know that D+.
Hey, now so don't yeah, we la. Title, yeah, we la. Now so no.
We're gonna make the most out of it as well as we're gonna drop into Miramar for the first time at 2 of the day of the final day of the PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2024 with John Allen and Blake.
The games have reached a boiling point.
Here we go again. Okay, đó là nó sẽ lấy cho Pmgc Grand Finalနောက်ဆုံး final ဒီနောက်ဆုံးရဲ့ဒီနေ့တော့5ပွဲမြောက်နောက်ဆုံးတစ်ပွဲပဲကျန်တော့တာပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပြိတ္တရေဒါတော့5ပွဲမြောက်အရေးကြီးဆုံးပွဲပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျမတ်တရားလည်းကတ်နေရယ်ချန်ပီယံနဲ့ဘတူလဲခုလဲဘတူလဲဘာညာကြည့်ရတော့မယ့်အချိန်ပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျကဲလင်းလန်းကြောင်းလည်းရှောင်းမြေပေါ်အလေးလေးပဲပိုင်းနာပေးရတယ်တူပဲအတင်းတွေအားလုံးကိုလန်းနေကိုအေးစိတ်ရောက်နေအောင်ပဲgame fight လေးကိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တေးချာလေးကျွန်တော်ကြည့်ရတော့မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျာသူဆုံးလို့မရပါဘူးဘဒူးမဟလာလက်ရှိ day 3 2 ရက်လုံးကလည်းကျွန်တော်မီရာမပေးတဲ့ဇုံတွေကပုံမှန်တိုင်းလေးပဲပေးတဲ့ဇုံတွေကြီးပဲဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တင်းနေအားလုံးကတော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီနေ့ကောင်းပါတယ်နော်ဒီနေ့ကကန်ဆာတာလေးကလိုက်နေတာလဲ RCB လေး Brigade တဲ့
representatives from
the region in Maglasila Brigila Igila
for the grandest title.
Cinderella.
But if they don't settle their differences, there may be that outside chance. Teams further down the tables, sure there's a gap.
其實連兩張咧 B 都係所就
33-point games this tournament. Things can change.
Okay အစားဟောပေးရပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့အမတ်လိုတယ်ကျွန်တော်ဒီ RCB အတွက်ကတော့ဇုံဝေးတယ်ကျွန်တော် Nima Classy အတွက်ကပတ်ပြီးဝင်လို့ရရယ်ဝေးရယ်ကဲ TK အတွက်အချိန်နေကောင်းပါတယ်ဗျကဲ TK ပြိတက်တွေအားလုံးပဲအသေးလေးနှိမ့်မယ်နော်ကျွန်တော်အချိန်နေကောင်းနေပြီဒီ fight ရေးကြီးရယ်ဆိုမှ
a little bit more difficult to make happen. Voin Donkey ID with a great spot right now in Tora Armada. Can move on down.
ဒီနေ့ game 4ပြီးမှာတော့ RCB က135ကျွန်တော်ဒီ Nima Classy 132တော့ TK 119ဒီဆုံးနေဥဆောင်နေတဲ့ run 1 2 3 3သိမ်းမှဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျ
4MV on your screens. More than redeem themselves coming into
25 PKK မှာဆိုတော့တော့ကြည့်မလားတဲ့မြန်မာတင်းတန်သွား
Over 100 points so far. A team with a following almost unlike any other. And they have made their mark here, earning 103 so far. They have found their feet, they have found that comeback from fifth place. There is a large gap to jump up, to be able to lift that trophy. And so many teams in their way to stop them.
Let's see point 90 man. No.
There'll be one more pit stop.
Yeah.
And they'll be closing the race out. Towards the top side of the table.
Yeah, 4MV low.
Right now, RCB. That gap extended by one. Influence Rage still trying to make this
Nima Classy ကတော့တောက်လျှောက်ဒီမှာပတ်ပြီးတော့ကောက်နေတာတွေကဒီချမ်းတော့ရောက်လာ lost now တော့ရောက်လာ
with a chance
တော့လာကြအဲ့စာပြီးတာပါဒီဇုံကတော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီဇုံနောက်ကျရင်တော့တကယ်ဝင်ရခတ်တယ်လို့ပြောလို့ရတယ်
You know that Miramar is their stomping grounds. This is where the majority of their strong maps have come through, and it's why they have been so demonic at the end of some of these tournaments, because it comes down to the out from the backpack.
TK ဆိုရင်လမ်းကြောင်းတော့အဲ့စာတော့တော်တော် ECC ပဲရှိလိမ့်မှာပဲဝင်ရော
Unfurling. Keep that momentum going, because they are 50 points behind first place right now. It would need 2 back-to-back chicken dinners to see them towards the top of the tables. Not so for D+ Kia though. They are a lot closer, just around the corner in fact. Only 16 points behind. That is a closable gap. And to see a South Korean team lift that trophy, that would be brilliant for the region. It's been a long time coming. We've talked about South Korea as this constantly improving, developing region. It feels like we're seeing that finally being displayed here on the biggest stage in PUBG Mobile.
In terms of internationals, that has certainly been the case for South Korea. Started off not great. D+, all right, changed the game.
They did.
And then since then, it has just been better and better and better. But this has been just a unreal tune-up in terms of capability, in terms of determination, in terms of stability in these teams. And I think you'll see DRX for some time to come now. That's always a nice thing, not only having just one team from your region, but having another as well that performs just as good.
Performances need to be stellar towards the top of it, on the tables. Ooh, a little scrap for Silas. Danger waits. And the rest of his team are actually not too close behind, so positions given away. Silas not overexposed.
Let's head on to over the stage to get a recap.
Welcome back to Championship Sunday, and what would this entire event, this entire competition be without the fans? I am joined by Inan. Inan, how are you doing, buddy? You good?
Coming
around and seeing all of you guys is something that's, you know, it's the cherry on top of the cake.
I haven't traveled
Asian
far,
dinner
but
Asian dinner.
Turkish. I've come to support Regnum Carrier, bro.
Yes, you have. I love that. A local sandstorm. How awesome. That's exactly what we like. You know, we like to have, you know, people supporting either from Turkey or from London. It's fantastic to see fans from all over the place. Now, can you tell us, what would it mean to you and the region for RCB to take the PMGC this year?
it will mean a lot, absolutely, because I've been following Regnum Carrier Bra for nearly 2 years now, and they've been absolutely dominating the whole Turkish PUBG, and they've been dominating everything. But this would be meaning a lot to them because they're absolutely working so hard and they're doing great so far. So it will be meaning a lot to people in Turkey, people who support them.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first one, it would be the second one, and it would prove that Turkey is up there with one of the best regions in the world in PUBG Mobile.
They're extremely strong, and we love to see it, but you know, we've got a few more matches to go at this point in the competition. It's getting very tense. You could cut the tension with a knife in the XL arena. So for now, we're going to head back to you guys so we can continue Championship Sunday.
The fans have been lifting up these teams to the performances that they have delivered upon, and we were wondering if RCB were going to go down there in a fight with Guild, but no team actually took a casualty during that interview.
Yeah, I mean, Barney said you could cut the tension with a knife. I don't think so. The tension in that moment was like twisted steel.
Goodness me.
Con ta rõ này, rồi Mongol fan này là
Right down to the wire, but I think the crowd are trying to tell us something, Blank. I wonder who they're supporting right now.
Doc on your screens, an unreal player leading his squad. It's plentiful points going forward. A 33-point game, a record-breaking game for 4MV. And expect no less from the Dockening. Stage 2 though on the way, very shortly, 15 seconds to go on this one. It's a small circle after this. We go stage 1, a lot of space.
Myanmar team is so new, no? Never have pages on E7 man.
See influence rage all gearing up to step on the gas.
Đi về jump roomမရှိတော့ဒါမှတော့ပဲရှိ E7 ပတ်တဲ့ဖက်တွေကောင်းသွားပြီလားနာဗီနဲ့တော့တွေ့ဖို့များရယ် PK အဆင်ပြေသွားပြီဒီမှာ classy လည်းအဆင်ပြေသွားပြီ
That's cliffside.
အဆင်မပြေတော့ RCB ပဲတိုက်လို့ဝေးရွယ်ပြီးတော့အများကြီးကြားထဲမှာဝင်လာမှာတဲ့လား
The hills around El Azahar as
ဒီ
well.
ဘွဲတော့ RCB စော့နိုင်လို့တော့တကယ် respect ပဲ
The center of the town sits in this massive valley with several different hills that surround it, which means it's basically impossible once teams have managed to entrench themselves on that position.
Who's going to be able to get the north side
of this one, Blank, is between Alpha
Who's going to
take control there, but I think once they've been able to find that north edge could be really powerful for them into these next circles.
Vicious up against Team
Spirit.
Squad yet though, and it will be 3 players first to face for Team Spirit versus the Vicious in awkward compounds, awkward spaces. Good pre-fire from Kitsune.
Pre-fire, okay.
The first on Vicious, looking rather delicious for Team Spirit.
And it could get a little bit pernicious here as continue to send players on in. Unfortunately, not quite enough to handle Team Spirit. Diminor and Brunozin. The 2 players, 1 up, 1 down. They do manage to find a shot through. That's actually Lorazin from Influence Rage to be able to thread a shot through, and a shotgun from Brunozin lands onto Nomi down in the alleyway, flushed out as well. And Team Spirit, they were in control of the fight, but with 1 blow struck from Influence Rage, that all changes.
Good shot, we'll find 1. But Effects is bleeding out in the process. Kitsune to get outside the window, get the flush on board. No more info gathering available, and likely to go for the res here. Effect is so close to being downed completely. They have to pick him up. For Enigma Galaxy, they've also taken a knock. This is down towards the south side. D+ and DRX. South Korea surrounds them. And D+ looks to pile on.
And
now Redox has fallen. The nade in doesn't connect onto Yunbin. And Raul cannot really afford to take enough time to get it. Points on this match now. Accelerate away. Look to lock in a second title for Silas.
Oh my god,
a chance.
TRH is back ရောက်ရေးရှက်တူကတင်ဖြတ်ပေးလိုက်ပြီဗျ RCB ကကန်ကောင်းနေပြီ
Hurdle. Nigma Galaxy. RCB blazes past.
RCB ကန်ကောင်းနေပြီ
Keep that up over towards that northwest side. They'll have to continue forward with the circle. Pleasantly surprising for RCB and the squad.
Slate 3 ကဒီဘက်ပြန်ပေးတာဗျတယ်လားမိုက်တယ်တဲ့ဒီနေ့ကောင်းတယ် RCB လေးတော့စုံလိုက်ရောက်လာ
Starts to make their way on through, but with Nigma Galaxy out, you're right, John. Those teams around them can start to soar higher above. D+ being one of those teams that I have my eyes on here.
When we are Sake rotate, oh, now you can have no I don't.
The southeast edge currently looking to push through. 4MV on the north side. I was saying once Na'Vi and 4MV that edge I think could be quite powerful.
Yeah, it's women land job as yeah, DK ရှိတယ်။ Korean နဲ့တင်းကတော့ပေါင်ကြရှင်းတော့ကျွန်တော် RCB အတွက်ပဲဖြစ်အောင်ပါဗျ။
Very central onto this one already. They've got an open area surrounding the compound that they hold. The ridge to the south side, potential vulnerability, but that's currently being fraughtly, tensely contested by two teams, by Falcons, by Thundertalk in the center of this circle. Incilio trying to extract from the southeast side, but D+ here, a lead weight.
Oh, no!
As they try and rotate. Not to worry, though.
My God.
So if D+ here can't earn a couple of points either way.
Just saying, young.
Korean killers here in the lobby. D+.
IS ဖြတ်မောင်းတယ်နှကောင်ကြတယ် DK ဖြတ်မောင်းတယ်ပတ်ပြီးမောင်းတယ်ထပ်ပြီးတော့တကောင်ကြတယ်ဟဲ့အောင်ကြီးကျွတ်ပါတယ်ကွာ DK က Judgment တည်ရ AKM ထပ်ထိထားသေးရအိုးကောင်းတယ် DK ကဖြုတ်နေပြီအောင်ကြီး
Time just to walk the path.
နာဗီနဲ့ဖုန်းဝင်ရတော့အပြက်ပဲဒီနားလေးမှာဟာလားအပြက်ပုံစံတော့တွေ့ရတယ်
4MV versus
ရှာတော့ not တော့မယ်ဟိုဘက် channel bro တော့ပြန်တော့ထောက်နေပြီဗျအော်ရော not bad step baby A7 တခါတည်း bro မှာဖြတ်ပေးလိုက်ပြီဗျဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ mirroring ကနေပေးတဲ့ damage နဲ့ပဲ bro တော့ကောင်းတော့ပေးလိုက်ရပြီဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်နာဗီနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ 4MV ကတော့ 3 versus 4တော့ပြန်ဖြစ်သွားပြီဗျ
This ascension work. They want to change the game. They will need to take this third party, sweep through the north edge, isolate these fights. 4MV look to put more pressure on.
Navi 7 revolt တော့ကောင်းတယ်
7 march forward.
Flip ပြန်တော့ပါ
first to step into harm's way.
Navi တကောင်နဲ့ကြံလဲအဲ့ limo မကြံ flip ကြံလဲ clash တာနော်ဆောင်းဆိုးတာ
all of this and 4MV they've made their way onto the inside, but they may have sealed themselves within their own tomb. If Alpha 7 can get here in time, Reaper steps through, goes down to the spray, and Lemon keeps the door frame under control, keeps the inside there for Na'Vi. Apex is down as well. They could res here, and Alpha 7 have established their perimeter.
Alpha 7 looking good for a couple more points here on the cards and maintaining a huge amount of presence over towards that northeast side. They're going to be extremely happy. Either way, this breaks down. One elim already. Nade starting to send over the top. Doc is hurting. The Mafioso looks to
Perfect encirclement from Alpha 7. They read this fight like a book. And they add these points to their tally with all too much gusto. Na'Vi trying to leave, and now they're under pressure from the Brazilians as well. 3 points earned so far. A headshot landed onto Lemon. The play zone takes him down, and Revo doesn't want to let that point slip away from them. Picks it up, and Lemon gets eliminated. Punch out. The last stand in the blue, the high ground. A surviving player. Let's go the high ground. They can get that res and maybe get a little bit of an answer, but I don't think that they're going to be able to find it with the position that Alpha 7 hold over them. A really good result for the Brazilians on the north.
Alpha 7 just going from good to better here inside this map, and Revo, to be fair to him, even though not been too high up in the lobby, he's been eviscerating the competition thus far.
Cho E7 rồi top 10 nàyဝင်ဖို့တော့တဲရုံးကန်နေပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်
But RCB make their way on over on that eastern side.
ဒါကမိကိန်းအောင်ရောက်သွားဒီနာ3တင်းဆိုင်တာတိတ်4အောင်ရောက်သွားတင်း73တင်း
RCB not the ones to find it. It's actually flipped from Na'Vi, who spots McGrellin on the way out. There's cover from the buggy, but it is slim to none. And with RCB, you're right, coming in from this western side, the ridgeline is exposed. Alpha 7, I think they're losing McGrellin here. Not really too much to do about it, but two players looking for an answer, moving up the side of the cliff in the vehicle, trying to scramble their way back to Na'Vi, put the pressure on even further, turn the screws to them. But all 3 of these Na'Vi players have somehow made it out blank.
I don't know how that's possible, but the resilience shown there from Na'Vi is nothing short of extraordinary.
အားလို့အဲ့လုံးဆက်ကြီးအဲ့လိုကြီးဝင်သွားလဲအားလို့လဲစူပါမန်လားယင်စပိုင်ဒါမန်လားစူပါမန်လားပြောအမကြီးအေး
And now he looks to finish.
Over the top of the smoke, drops down low. Wagner there, high ground potentially a third party as the spray from Longs is there. Matic on that off angle.
Okay, Matic ပဲပြသွား DJB လည်းတီးနေပြီတလောက်ပါပဲ
under pressure as well. Team Spirit have flexed out. They lost a player earlier, but they still have 3 to go. And Wagner, he's trapped on the outside here for Guild. I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this unless you rip a real big smoke train, get some reses on board. Guild should be done for here.
Yeah, this is a terrifying situation to be in for Guild. Have to marshal the banners if they want to get out of here, but it's just unlikely. Matic fully out of manual, straight into automatic. Sending the nades downhill, and it's impossible to leave this location. Team Spirit do need to clear it though. So Kitsune will be first to face. Puts the fire up in front.
Molotov reduces the retreat opportunities and immediately forces the peak. Team Spirit handle that one.
Yeah, we are.
Fall to it. 6 elims found for Team Spirit
RCB
on the western side of this circle.
B7 ရှိမယ်ပြီ
As we're just about to find where our next phase is going to take us. Right now,
TT ကတော့ miss ခဲ့မှာပဲ TK ကတော့ကျွန်တော် Fabian တယောက်တည်း info တွေထွက်ပြီးယူထားတာရ share TK နဲ့ DRH နဲ့ကတ်ရက်ပဲဆိုင်ရပြီဆိုင်ရပြီတိုင်းလို့ RCB လည်းဆိုင်ရမှာဟိုပါပဲ TK လည်းသူကလည်းဆိုင်ရမှာပဲ TK ကဒါပေမဲ့ဒီဘက်တစ်ချမ်းနေလို့ရတယ် TK ကတဲ့လားထပ်ပြီးထိန်းဆော့မယ်ဆိုရင်တော့နေလို့ပြ DRH ကိုအရင် risk မယူဘဲနဲ့ DRH ကအိုးတော့သွားပြီအဲ့ကောင်ချပြီချလောက်ပြီနော် DRH နော်တော့ကောင်းတော့
looking fairly zombie like. Keep on walking forward. They do make it into the circle.
ကျွန်တော် reaction လေးနေပြီးပေါင်းတိုင်းလေးမိနေမှာဆိုလို့
RCB has to
ဝေးကြည့်မျောနေတယ်အခရင်လေးကို3ချက်လောက်နှိပ်အောင်15ချက်လောက်ပြစ်နှိပ်လိုက်
feasible approach for them.
မချဘူးတိုင်းလို့ RCB ဒီမှာ A7 Mario ဆိုတော့နှစ်ယောက်ကျန်နေသေးတယ် ဆိုင်လက်တော့ rotate သွားပြီကောင်းတယ်ညပ်ပြီးတော့တတ်တော့နောက်သွားပြီ potato အနောက်မှာလေအနောက်မှာလည်းအတင်းနေရှိသေးတယ် 2 versus 3 no? Oi, 2 versus 2!
The way of Alpha 7 though, dips out into the blue for a long time. Carrillo takes a lot of damage from it, takes a round as well. But will just about stay alive for a moment longer. Outside!
Oh, we did very well.
With the Maxi 14.
Sarah ပဲကြံတယ်ဗျ။ကဲလို့မရဘူး sacrifice. We did အကုန်ပြစ်သွား We did it.
By himself. Time to get some more points. He doesn't know that Enigma Galaxy's out, but
တယောက်ပဲကြံတယ်စုံလဲမပါဘူးအပေါ်မှာလည်းနာပြီကလည်းဒါ RCB မှတီကျုံးပါလေလားချောင်းနေတော့
no vehicle to work with until he spots a monster truck.
ဝင်ကြတယ်မရှိဘူး
They'll need that bad boy going forward. Sends it out, tons of damage pouring over towards him though. How much longer can he live? And Na'Vi should have sightlines on this.
It's Donkey though who are peppering the edge of this monster truck. I don't think it gets away. You can see it starting to burst into flames. And under the bonnet, the spark from Healthy will no longer be operable. He is in just about the north side of this zone and will be safe for just a moment longer. Donkey ID are able to sit there too. Na'Vi with their outpost on the north not so lucky, but Influence Rage. They're rolling around on the south side. DRX being the opposing force to put the pressure down, and Diego's the last to stand for Influence Rage.
Strong approach from Team Spirit this game. I mean, they are surrounded on all sides. Nade's going through. Good one over the top side there from DRX. Team Spirit will claim one of those eliminations.
TK လည်းဒီဘက် side ကိုပဲတော့တလားကျွန်တော်ပြောလို့ပဲကျွန်တော်ညာဘက် channel လေးကနေပဲဆော့I am ကနောက်ဆုံးတစ်ယောက်ပဲကျန်တယ်
to be a good game for them. Angling themselves closer and closer to the top 2.
It depends on how far Sada can go. With Incilio going down, the placements are going to start to add up now. D plus Kia, 5 eliminations.
အောင်နဲ့2-on-1 လေးနဲ့ပဲ info လေးနဲ့တူလေးပဲသွားနေတာလေးကဆောင်းဆက်မှုဖြစ်တယ်ဗျ
top spot at the start.
အပြီးနာပြီးပါ not တာလေး no ဘူး
into that lead.
ဖြုတ်နေပြီ over တွေတကယ်ဖြုတ်နေဒါတွေ DKT ပွဲဆော့တာအယမ်းမှန်တာဆော့နေတဲ့ပုံစံလေးထိန်းနေရလေးကလုံးဝတော့ကွာမှမလို့
flanking out
လို့ရနာပြီးတော့နှစ်ကောင်ဝဲကြတယ်နာပြီးမနှုတ်ဘူးအဝေးကနေထောက်ပေးနေထောက်ပေးတယ်ထောက်ပေးတယ် info တောက်လျှောက်ပေးတီတီလုံးဝလုံးဝအကုန်ရတာပုံမောင်းနှစ်ဖက်လုံးရတာနော် RCB ကလည်း run point စပြီးတော့တတ်မှတ်ရနေပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျ
Donkey ID to move forward, but again RCB Sarah's got nothing to work with, no vehicle. The pad on down towards the circle here. Has to hope more teams go out on the outside. Top 5 would be ideal. It's not going to be a huge amount of points, but Plus also need to go down for them. Like the boys are saying, I think it is going to be down to the final map.
Nice.
Certainly all to play for. The roll up from Na'Vi, not going according to plan, not quite.
Na'Vi auto ပြတ်သွားတယ် TK အဲ့ဖက်တစ်ချမ်းတော့ရပါတယ်
and they will go down there.
5k ဖြစ်သွားပြီနော်
Thunder Talk hold the center and they
keep my run 7 RCB တက်လိုက်ဒါတော့တယောက်တည်းရအောင်တော့ survive လုပ်နေတယ် carry ရမယ် RCB Sarah
very good hold, difficult buildings to work against as well. Good crossfire they held in that location. Team Spirit trying to get away. Zeta with that P90.
ဒီမှာကျွန်တော် sprint နဲ့ VD နဲ့ချပြီဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော် Sarah တက်အခွင့်အရေးဗျာပြီးသွားဘယ်လိုဖြစ် top 5 လောက်ပြန်ပါလောက်
As Kitsune launches a nade, bounces back off the tree, unfortunately protected by the boughs of it, and not going to be able to connect that first attempt.
Yeah, the Sakuma DK လက်စီ 10k ကျော်6ပေါင်ရတာဆို125မှ
from RCB, the last player.
ကမှရရင်တော့မိုက်ပါ
out wide, but now attention has been drawn their way.
အဆုံးပွဲဒီကိုချိန်နေကြည့်
Sada can get into this.
Pretty much has
ပြီးဒီတစ်ဖက်ပုံစံပဲစောင့်နေတာတင်း sprint ဝင်လာတော့အမားပဲစောင့်နေတာလုံးဝအမားမခံSarah VD ပဲဖြတ်လိုက်တယ်နောက်ဆုံးတော့တင်း sprint နဲ့လည်းမဖြစ်ဘူးဆိုရင်တော့မရတော့ Sarah နိုင်ရလို့ပါတယ်အခုတော့ Sarah ရဲ့ပြတ်သွားပြီဆိုတော့ဒီတမတ်နဲ့ပဲပြီးပေါ့နံပါတ်ပေါ့ဒီမှာ classic တော့ပြောနေပြီ TK က light ဖြုံနေပြီလား
and it's D plus Kia who now have not got RCB to extend their lead ahead of them
ဒီမှာဆိုတော့ sprint ပြန်ပြီး rotate line ဒီဘော ground မှာဆိုတော့ DRH ရှိနေဦးမယ်ကျွန်တော်ဆိုင်ရန်ကျွန်တော်လုံးဝစောင့်နေပြီ 5k
from the east side relatively uncontested they will look to open up the thrusters now.
8-elimination game.
Let's go.
Team Spirit, not bad at all, honestly, considering that they were
ဘယ်လို
fully
ရှောက်ပေါ်လာပြီကွာဒီဆော့တဲ့ကောင်တွေအကုန်လုံး pressure ပြစ်နေမှာ
massive standoff between them and a fair few of the squads.
ငါကောမှာ pressure ပြစ်နေပါတယ်ပြိတ်တဲ့အတန်နဲ့ဆိုပူဆိုးပါတော့
All eyes on them.
တတ်နိုင်လား offline ရတော့
Towards the top side of the table. Has that chance.
VD ကတော့၄ယောက်လုံးကျန်နေသေးရဲ့စီတာတော့ဖြည်းဖြည်းချင်းပဲကပ်ပြီးသွားနေသေးရဲ့တင် split ကလည်းတွားစက်နေရမရှိဟိုပဲပြီးလိုက်ဒီမှာပြေးလိုက်နေနောက်ဆုံးတော့လည်း fake ကုံမောင်းတော့ပဲရောက်လာ
Brethren over towards the west. Osal comes flying in to assist Chips. Favian, Nolbu on the back line.
DRH နဲ့ TK ကတော့ပေါင်ချရှင်းရတော့မယ်နဲ့
with the standoff
DRH ကဖိန်မဖိန်တော့နှစ်တင်းကတော့လုံးဝအပြတ်ပုံစံမျိုးလောက်ထိဖြစ်တော့မှာဗျ
Favian moving a little bit closer down to the south. The next circle's
going to pop as well. TK ဖက်ပြီးတော့ TK တော့အကုန်ရအောင်ပါ
as Nolbu moves up
ပြီး
the high
TK
ground.
ရပါလား TK ဆိုင်ကြရမလို့တိုက်ဘတ်တော့
The circle shift
တိုက်ဘတ်တော့မပတ်ဘူးလားချမလား
and how firmly
DRH ကိုတော့တောက်လျှောက် fresher ပေးနေတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ Korea နှစ်တင်း
for the team from PEL 5 eliminations found on their
damage
side.
ထက်ရတာတည်း
Meanwhile D plus
တော့ချားလည်းဖြတ်တော့မောင်းသွားပြီ DRH တွေမထူးဆက်တော့စပြီးခင်းနေပြီဗျ
This is a big
Okay တကယ် rotate လုပ်တာချစ်စင်ကြီးလို့ပဲပြောရမယ် DRH တွေချားလည်းဖြတ်မောင်းသွားတာရတကယ်ကင်စာကြီးလို့ပဲပြောရမယ်ကျွန်တော်မထင်မှတ်ထားတဲ့ကျွန်တော်ကားမောင်းတဲ့ပတ်တန်လေးကဒါမျိုးလေးလားဆိုတော့တကယ်ပြတနေရပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ် Oh my god ပြောက်ရေး
On mark.
အော်ကောင်းပါရဲ့ဟော DRH ကြီးရလဲ ချိန်ပါကွာတားကြီးတို့ရဒီတလား position က ready မဖြစ်တော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီ TK ကလုံးတော့
swatted aside. This is a real big rotate, a real big play from DRX. Nolbu hasn't been flushed just yet, but Kaiksei's putting the nades down, trying to land them. And in come Void Donkey ID. Potential respite for D plus Kia as Void Donkey ID from
Indonesia move
over to the north side of this circle. Freely peek over these ridge lines, can no longer get into position. And this is exactly why Kaise takes so much damage.
The channel we did tap your fresh up here, Charam, or DIST in a Charon Yanavi. One piano, or take up Petanam Shidu, Yani, the Lucia. Inamato Tikia, lay my Natenza Kiyama, no? Lay my Natenza Yama, lay my over Luella, Malone. Kawayan Yadu, Nima Yaro, Inama.
The east side hills.
Jetty. Tapiro went out the mirror and we did Piamino John Tammy Pida in Nobu got Tapiro not
buildings and actually making it successfully to some cover in the next circle. A little defilade to save a little bit more time to play with. In the meantime, D plus Kia did take a knock from Void Donkey ID. But that should be resable just about.
Razak moving the McLaren.
Out
from the blue here.
TTR come on in about look some shit. TT but the one. Sake 8. These are so baby. Light stuck on the thing, I didn't get it. Oh, like that, yeah. Sake.
Western building because
we the Kamalo Mayade here, the boy, we the Vedayo, ye, Gio. I was saying what a free game here, Apollo too. Dialect on Patauda, Leo Jenny did a come out the daily. And now Zidaru, Nakamajano, other DI store, Kangawa, Iki, Yanni. TTR Sake control, Mayara Mele, Jordi Pesha, Comonera, Konokawa, Tia, then Pare, full lot, Leo Jenny. TTR Savi Lolo, you know, or Savi DI could fresh out Savi Brain, Fagon, Pamela, we see that touch of damage, beat idea. Fagon, eat a call and call it on the chappy, not chappy, Daido, not all my dream made, Emma. Short Lambo money.
I don't think so. I do not think so.
Sure.
Last roll out for Vexy, somehow staying safe.
Oh, GG.
Big old question mark.
No GG.
Spotted by King.
And
now the top of the hill.
Don't be a bit side me, TK. Oh, right time, I'm not Daido. Where believer? Daido. No, epic camper, so Mania, so pure the loop, need Miramama, chicken sanders, or TK, Miramama, or Sapuzia, Job machine, voila. Oh, yeah, shit, you are. Oh, right time and someone died.
Somehow Icy's still alive for Falcons, but
now where
for South Korea.
This is a huge game from D plus. After the opportunity was given to them, after the door was opened,
I guess stay 9.
Firmly taking it in their hands, they will pick up Icy.
Fake with you, I'm tired. I say on a hill, yeah. Yeah, 4 versus 4, your TT versus your TK. They get Cavaro, your TTI. TK better control me out of low. Control of it, upon it, you can high ground me out. Stella, Mother. Chicken or the TT back out of Puta, over your time, the native, this Molo, the low pit, I know. Shut do so, a same view, no. Chicken in TT back at Leo on ya. Lehman, not a Lehman, no, not right. Lehman and not a Lehman, Shimmadama. Chicken me in Shimmadama.
This ain't no talk, this is an argument. The YPEL is such a strong region. Shin goes down a deep grind.
3 versus 3. Okay, 3 versus 3. Fabian Paka to get a low beat and Fabian to get Pioni with I 4 key. TK. TDR alone, sound of what the line, Nate low. I want to save the shield. Come on, let's send out a sound of Tabi over Joe Beanie. Oh, knock on not a Fabian deal with Jam 3 versus 1. Low name, Mala Fabian. Find a moment, die. Yadona. Oh,
and it will connect. Thunder Talk take the chicken dinner.
Yeah, wow. Oh yeah.
Lightning struck not once, not twice.
I will find them our chicken to win it with your TTA operator A7 and I made knitting like with separate title. They catch all while the TK to Shimmamo, Quanamado now. 9မှတ်တော့9မှတ်တော့တိုင်းတို့နောက်ဆုံးကြံတာ3ယောက်တည်းကြံတာမဟုတ်4ယောက်ကြံတာကြီးကဆိုးတယ်ပါတော့ကဲပြီးရအတင်းကတော့ game fight chicken နဲ့အတူပဲ shorty နဲ့ကတော့ကျွန်တော်နောက်ဆုံးတစ်ပွဲပဲကြံတော့မှာပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျ
of that trophy.
Such an important game for
the vote မထည့်တာအဲ့ဒါ DIH IGN ငါတို့ Anova ခေါ်စမ်းกว่าတယ်ဟာ
and their rotation from Impala hugging the coastal line onto the east, playing northeast of Al-Azhar, and really that
okay ကျွန်တော် MVP ကတိတိအားချေပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျ
but the execution from that entire macro perspective was perfectly executed. I did have some doubts, 7, but overall it was a really solid game.
I didn't have any doubts. This is,
really?
this is why this team, I mean, going into the last 2 matches, before this match, I was saying D+ is going to be able to pleasantly surprise us because of what
ကိုမောင်းနေတာမဆောင်တော့ပါဘူးတကယ်တမ်းဆောင်လို့ရတယ်တကယ်တခါလေးတက်ကြုံပြီးနေနေပဲနေအောင်လုံးတော့
You were seeing the 3-1 splits out of D+, and you were a little bit worried.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried they were getting too close to DRX and Influence Rage, but I think that themselves understood, okay, we're maybe a little bit too close to the competition here in the city of Al-Azhar. We're going to just hold our position, wait for the circle, and then they go east and they clear Incilio, they clear Marvi, they're just on a complete path of destruction to the east and then claim 50% of the circle.
And for D+,
even after that, fully controlled the
circle on top of that, they had Nobu being able to get some offense.
အရှင်ကတော့နောက်ဆုံးပွဲဒီမကြပါဘူးပြိတ္တရေအရှင်ကတော့တောက်လျှောက်နောက်ဆုံးပွဲဒီရင်ခုံအောင်ဘောကောင်းလာ DK ကလည်းမီရာမအရန်ကောင်းတဲ့သင်ဖြစ်နေတာဆိုတော့လေဒီ season မှာနောက်တစ်ပွဲလဲတော့မှာဖိတ်ချလို့ရတယ်အထဲမှာပါတယ်တော့မပြောက်ဘူးပဲလို့
They tried to send Fabian down the hill behind that crate to get an off angle onto Thunder Talk, which is great, but instantly Thunder Talk understood, wait, that's an off angle, that if we hug the side of the circle, they can't quite see us, and then the nades of like King in particular, insane.
ကဲ break တက်တော့ကျွန်တော်ဘယ်လိုရစေချင်လဲတိုက်တို့ RCB လား TK လားကျွန်တော်ဒီရဲ့ Nima Classy လား
That ridge was so steep that you're not even going to see
Cinderella ထားလိုက်မရတော့ Cinderella ပြီးသွားပြီဒီလောက်ပဲ Nima Classy RCB TK ဘယ်သူလဲတိုက်တို့ဘယ်သူရစေချင်လဲ break တက်ကဲဖြေကြပါအောင်ဘုံဒီမှာ TK ကိုထည့်လိုက်ရတော့မလားကဲအဆုံးတစ်ပွဲကိုထည့်လိုက်ရတော့မလားတိုက်တို့ပြန်စတာတော့ live stream ဟုတ်တယ် bro ခဏမှ live stream ကြာသွားလို့ YouTube live ဒါအစ်ပြန်စတာ
That is back-to-back matches. You can see that it doesn't go their way in regards to the fight. The first one in regards to the last Erangel, Snowix was able to kind of save face, right? Damage control by being able to get all those placement points. But on this one, once they saw that the fight was going to be over, you saw Raouf trying to hop into that buggy, trying to get away. They need to be able to play carefully. I feel like we need to see that we saw out of yesterday when it came down to this Miramars, if they want to get a chance at winning the championship.
Yeah, I mean, saving face is not going to cut it if you want to go the entire way and become the 2024
TK ပဲနော် TK ပဲရစေချင်ကြ ကဲအဲ့ဆို TK ဘိုဒီနဲ့ထည့်လိုက်တော့မယ်နော်
from Nigma Galaxy, but today it's just in the late game. There's just 1 or 2 players because they have these early altercations.
TK ဘိုဒီနဲ့ထည့်လိုက်တော့မယ်နော်
right, are a little bit desperate and maybe at the bottom maybe don't care as much, and I'll just, if we see a team, we'll just send it because why the hell not? But it has a huge impact on the top of the rankings.
And we're going to be going into the last match as well of Pmgc Grand Finals. We were talking about craziness. We were talking about teams. What are they going to be doing, especially the teams that are towards the bottom? This is usually when we see that craziness, we see those teams really not caring in regards to the engagement. They know what they're going to end up placing anyways. They're just going to go for crazy stuff. And the teams at the top, with how close it is, they need to watch out.
I mean, might want to even recall them the villains right now if they do go for these hot drops here on potentially some of these top teams. We can see talk 24
TK 17 မှတ် Okay လိုအပ်နေတဲ့ map ပဲလား 10 separate set map DIS 4 မှတ်
or we could have been talking about them as being one of the top contenders. 17 points for D+, Team Spirit getting themselves 10. As you look down the list here, I mean, you're not seeing RCB, you're not seeing Nick.
TK လည်း ever Pmgc ရောက်တယ် A7 လိုပဲ champion ရရင်တော့ A7 နဲ့တာပါဟုတ်ပါတယ်ဗျာမထည့်ပါနဲ့
So that is definitely the game they needed if they wanted to have an opportunity to compete, and it's going to be between 3 teams, right? The trophy is going to be going between these 3 different regions. Going to be Nina, maybe
INF,
but could also be going over to the side of South Korea. One of them will be taking it home right after this next game.
Been saying it the whole year. We don't know who's going to be the champion.
Exactly.
And I'm not gonna lie, a couple of these teams I never would have expected. Actually, all 3 of those teams I would not have put there in my top 3, but we can see here D Plus has surpassed Nigma Galaxy and are one
TK ကတော့တမတ်ပဲကွာပါတယ်တားကြီးတို့1 2 3ရဲ့အမတ်ကို show
first tiebreaker of how this works out
ရရ Nigma Galaxy နဲ့ဆိုထားပါတော့ဒါ round 1နဲ့ဆို5မှတ်တဲ့ဟောပြီအဆုံးပွဲရတော့လေဒီလား
I mean, either the top 3, right?
Shit, 3 out of 3 java. Don't they long?
Up in top 3 maybe, and they maybe want to try and be an issue for Nigma Galaxy. They could still try and get a last dash at the top, so there's still someone to conversation.
Okay, but yeah, the guy don't see. Don't so maybe. Oh, gee, I see there.
For RCB, I mean, I'm gonna be looking at just their fragging power.
Oh la la!
What kind of match?
Hey!
Are they going to be trying to play aggressive?
Oh, they net only no team are in a died with my yaw. How do you have a died? Huh? I don't even vote in tape. I don't even vote in low and died.
If they are able to find a great location, and then even
low my
with the least amount of eliminations, we know that they can definitely start fragging out as we saw earlier in the day.
I'm just imagining a world where Sara is the last player left alive for Regnum Karya and gets him the win. The funny thing is, though, the trophy be back to Turkey, not to Japan. But maybe it gives them the drive coming up next year to make Team Project be the one to lift the trophy. Big shout out here to Infinix as they are official phone provider. Infinix GT20 Pro, this dual chipset.
MGH.
AMOLED screen. 120 FPS. You guys can pick one up and play like the Pro. I feel like we're gonna have to replace this wallpaper.
YouTube မှာလည်းပြောင်းမှာနော် Facebook မှာလည်းပြောင်း
That would be a good wallpaper for all of 2025, and then 2025 will swap it with a new.
Yeah, there you go.
Every year.
Or we wait, where'd it go? Well, you know
Pecco,
what? While you
give that
pick up your new Infinix device, you can make sure to go command the Frozen Battleground with the Icemire Frontier version available. If you guys missed the show match we had earlier on as well, it was crazy to see the Frostborn Dragon being taken out. And again, we're gonna say this for the last time. Our favorite event that's been in PUBG Mobile ever.
It keeps getting better and better, update after update. I'm really excited for 2025. We saw Rondo. I could talk about that quite a bit. Like that's going to be very exciting.
Oh, we're going to have time to talk about that.
We will.
Where?
Pandemonium_news.
There you go.
He's asking us to do a plug.
I thought he was going to say a PMGO next year.
Oh, okay.
That too.
That's about the time it releases, right? And on top of this, you guys at home who want more freebies, there is 100,000 packs left here. If you use the code PMGC Home on the official PUBG Mobile website at pubgmobile.com/redeem, and you can build your own ice home, but only 100,000 is available, so make sure you guys go redeem it right now, and then come right back, obviously, for the last match here.
I got mine.
Redeem that one. I forgot.
Really?
I got the Dragonmon. I did not get that one. Only 100,000? I'm thinking.
We're not allowed. We're not allowed.
Yes,
I'll try.
We are.
Well, we better be, because I think you already redeemed yours,
I
right?
hope we are, because I've been redeeming every single one.
So I'm going to bring up this topic again, and honestly, I feel like it's a very valid topic to always discuss. Last match, do you go for a different trade? Do you try to play extra? In the meantime, we're going to head down to stage one more time before we get into this last match with Sandstorm.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the XL Arena.
Final wrong ရောက်သွားပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျ
Okay, we have one game to go. And after this next match on Miramar, we will have our 2024 PMGC champions. Who do you think's going to win it?
Yeah, so Facebook လည်းရပြီနော်
I mean, we have 3 teams currently in the race for first place. Regnum Karya Bra Esports, Nigma Galaxy, and D Plus Kia. Records waiting to be set by every single one of these teams. $400,000 on the line. One last game. XL Arena, are you ready?
We will be diving into our final map very shortly. Don't go anywhere.
ဟောဝိုင်းမျက်နှာရဘာလို့ပါလား
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I am ready!
Hey!
I got some people there. There you go.
Well, I wish we could do the stop caster talk and start game, but we do have to wait a little bit longer because we have to obviously build up what's going to be happening here. We could see for the first time South Korea taking home the trophy. For me, that just blows my mind, considering this is a region we haven't really expected a ton of. We've seen them consistently at these PMGCs, thinking back to Archer, I believe in Season 0, and we're seeing them on the brink of showing what South Korea has.
It would be the year of underdog regions, right? Japan, PMGO, winning that trophy, then getting second place in PMWC, dominating the international stage, and then followed up with South Korea, their brethrens. They're always fighting the Rivals Cup, right, of South Korea versus Japan, able to maybe claim the trophy. But of course, it is not going to be an easy Regnum Carabra and Nickel Galaxy, sure, they might have been a bit topsy-turvy, but you know they're going to give it their all here in this last game.
And as well for Enigma Galaxy, I mean, this team has just been battling through haters saying, no, you're not going to be able to make it to the grand finals. Raouf, even though he is a humble man, he wanted to say a lot of stuff. He said, I'm going to save it until I become the champion of PMGC Grand Finals in London 2024. I'm pretty sure they're going to be hunting that down, but can they bounce back after those back-to matches that haven't been that well?
I mean, for Navarro, Snowix, and Redox, this is basically like their first time coming so close. Raouf, he's been in positions like this before, and for him to just have that integrity and focus to just keep grinding, even through roster changes, even through ups and downs within his own team, it would honestly be a great thing to see. And of course, Sara, I mean, he's feeling it. I still think this would be the craziest thing to happen, to have to go for an emergency replacement, bringing him in because your other player, Razy, broke his arm. And to win PMGC with a player you can't even communicate with?
It must be confusing if you're
right
now.
Sara?
Next year, what does Random Carabra do? Do they just decide to...
We're moving to Japan.
They're like, reject, we would like to have him for the whole year of 2025.
Hey, pick him up, man.
Honestly, I mean, if you end up winning PMGC with him, you're gonna have to.
Your boy Reggie Osio?
Yes.
Reggie, requalify, please.
The fact is, communication is very tough for them. We've already said before, they're not really speaking English to each other. It's just a couple of small commands here or there. I think that kind of shows just the individual skill that Sara has as a player to adapt around the style to a team that he can't really communicate with, and for Silas to be able to take that into consideration when leading his team. How to utilize Sara.
For all those teams at the top, currently separated by just 5 points, I want to see how they're going to be reacting through adversity. We have already seen RCB being able to react earlier. We know what they can definitely do whenever we come to the market. Just showcase it. Enigma Galaxy, they've been working out on stuff, but is the fragging power going to be there for this squad to make the push to first place? I'm not sure.
That Frostborn Dragon better be careful. It's not that cold on Miramar here, and again, there are no hovercrafts for these teams, but as you can see, it looks like we are just moments away from hopping into this final match. I cannot believe the entire year is all coming down to this. So let's go back to our commentators for the last time here in 2024 with John Allen and Blake.
With one more match to play, the trophy remains firmly placed on the stage.
Okay, here we go again. ဒီနေ့တော့ကျွန်တော်ဒါတော့2024ကျွန်တော် PMGC ကျွန်တော် Grand Final ပွဲစဉ်ရဲ့ကျွန်တော် Final တွေနောက်ဆုံးရဲ့နောက်ဆုံး round နောက်ဆုံးပွဲစဉ်နောက်ဆုံး map ပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျာဒီတပွဲပဲကျွန်တော် Champion အဆုံးအဖြတ်ကိုကျွန်တော်ပေးမှာပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကဲအားပေးကြပါအောင်အားလုံးပဲတိုက်တို့ဒီကောင်စီကြီးပါသုံးသင်းထဲမှာဘယ်လိုဖြစ်မလဲကျွန်တော်တို့ကမန်ရရမ်းခတ်ပါတယ်တုံးမဲ့ကြည့်ရမယ်ခုနကကျွန်တော်အားလီမာကတော့ခမ်းမန်းပေးသွားတယ် DK ဆောင်းအချင်းနေကောင်းတယ်ဆိုတာနော်ဒီပွဲလဲကျွန်တော်အားလီပိုင်းစုံကြည့်ပြီးတော့ပဲခမ်းမန်းပေးမယ်ခုနကဆိုတော့အဲဇာဟာနားမှာပဲပြီးသွားတယ်ပေါ့နော်ကဲဒီဆုံးကျွန်တော်ကြည့်ရအောင် DK ကတော့ Impala ကိုပဲဆင်းသက်သွားပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျ RCB ကတော့ Power Grid ကိုပဲဆင်းသက်သွားပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ် Nima Classic ကတော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီဘက်ကျွန်တော် Chocolate Town တွေဂျားတွေကိုပဲကျွန်တော်ဆင်းသွားပြန်ပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကဲလင်းလမ်းပေါင်း Come on! GG လေးမှန်ပြီတိုင်းတို့ GG လေးမှန်မယ် First ကကတော့ကျွန်တော် TK ရဲ့ Impala ကိုမှခေါင်းတက်တက်ကိုပေးတာပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျာကျွန်တော် Nima Classic အတွက်အရန်ကိုအချင်းနေကောင်းပါလေ Nima Classic အတွက်အရန်ကိုအချင်းနေကောင်းတယ် TK အတွက်လည်းအရန်အချင်းနေကောင်းတယ် TK အနေနဲ့အားလီပိုင်းမှာကျွန်တော်ဝင်လာမဲ့အတင်းတွေကိုတော့ကျွန်တော်လုံးဝမထိန်မဲနဲ့လေးလေးမမာလေးဒီပွဲကိုကျွန်တော်ဇုံလေးနဲ့ပဲကျွန်တော်ပိုင်းပြီးဆော့ရတော့မှာပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပြိတ္တရဲ့ Pressure up, you know, lippy.
I don't think he wants to go back, I'll tell you that now. But
yeah.
So on that south side, looting up. The vicious, nice and central once again, but it's deep.
လာတော့လာပြီအဲ့ပဲဒါဖတ်စားခဲ့ဆောင်းအရေးကြီး game fighter ရသွားပြီဆိုတော့ဒီစုံဆိုအရင် fresher များ game number 6ကလေရန် fresher များတိုက်တော့ကငါတို့ကြည့်တဲ့လူတော့မှဒီစဉ်းစားကြည့်အဲ့လိုဖြစ်နေ sorry ကောင်လည်းဘယ်လိုနေမှာလားဆိုတော့ဘလို့စုံရဝိုင်းဆိုအရင်စိတ်အေးရတယ်ထဲမှာပါတယ်နေမကလစီစုံဝင်လို့ရတယ် RCB တင်းကတော့ဒီပွဲလဲခဏပွဲလို့ပဲဆက်ပြီးတော့အများဘက်ကနေပြီးတော့လုံးဝတိုးရမှာဗျဆိုတော့အားလီဘဲမှာပဲတစ်ခါတည်းပြစ်တိုးလာမလားဆိုတော့ RCB ကိုချက်တို့ moment တွေဆိုတော့ကြည့်ရတော့မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျ
To a potential top spot. There's only 3 teams really in it. With Influence Rage, DRX, Point Donkey ID, a real outside chance, looking at 30 points behind.
Sorry.
Okay, he's fine. He's not wedged it. He's all right.
ဟောမြင်တယ်ဟောမမြင်ဘူးခုဒီကောက်နေတော့မယ် AC ပဲကောက်နေလိုက် sorry
Continuing on their way.
ခုဒီကောက်နေတော့မယ်တို့ဝင်တဲ့လမ်းကြောင်းတွေကနောက်တော့ A7 တွေမှာပါတယ်ကျွန်တော် TGB တော့ရောက်လာမှတက်လာကျွန်တော်ဒီ RCB ကအန်ချလို့မရအောင် RCB မရချင်ဘူးလေငါတို့ 2H time ပြီးရဲ့ကောက်တွေနဲ့စံချိန်2နေမှာစိုးလို့တယ်
Incilio, over the course of this tournament, have really displayed something special. And I think that this team from Kazakhstan should really be proud of what they've accomplished here.
ဒီ high ground ပေါ်တော့ကျွန်တော်ချစ်ဆက်ရအောင်တော့ back နေတော့တန်နေ
and a display of adaptational skill.
တော့ထဲတဲ့ဆို IS လည်းပြီးသွားပြီနော်
I'm
impressed with this,
and I think we'll be seeing more of them.
point 100နဲ့ပဲကျွန်တော်ကျွန်တော်အပေါ်တော့လုံးဝမရောက်နိုင်တော့ပါဘူး
Solo leveling their way through Pmgc, it would seem. But they've done well.
Okay ကျွန်တော် chips ကတော့ high ground overview ရောက်သွားပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်
Chips are stuck, vehicle stuck.
Uh-oh.
This ain't good. It's not good at all. I mean, not having an escape route like this on a position like this is dangerous. Shots going over towards them as well. That's worrisome.
ဒီတော့ပြက်ခံနေရ
Danger.
B on that north side.
IF နဲ့တိုးလာပြီအနောက်မှာ fair ကောင်လည်းပါလာပြီနော်
It's as simple as that.
Laura's in. I think he has just wedged it. No, he's managed to fling it out towards the high ground there. And he steps back in. So, no harm, no foul. Influence Rage managed to get on in towards the middle. A lot of teams have made this dash out towards the east. Incilio currently pushing in from a little bit closer to the south edge. Team Spirit just behind them. Influence Rage moving in on the north side. Thunder Talk as well. It's all centering up around Impala for this group of teams.
It's definitely a tough one. There's a lot of high ground around this area. Teams who got their
RCB ကလီတီရဲ့ TT ရဲ့ landing တွေကိုရောက်လာကြကျွန်တော် wine တွေရောက်လာ scout နေရပါတော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီရဲ့ minus ဝင်လာပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျမြင်တယ်
will definitely struggle.
အင်ပါလာတဲ့စပြီးဝင်လာ IS
You got to wait this one out. I think it's a case of playing edge.
PH လည်းအဲ့လိုပဲကျွန်တော်အင်ပါလာဘက်က compound တွေရောက်လာပြီဗျ
That circle shift, where's it going to go? Work with that. It's always that second circle shift that's the worst, and I think it's the right decision for all 4 of those teams on the western side. Just be like, let's prioritize looting. Let's get as much on board as possible. We'll need smokes. There's absolutely no way we're getting into the circle without a little bit of utility, a little bit of cover to go forward with. M249, the hands of Chips, not a whole lot of ammo, but definitely make it work. Good for spray downs onto vehicles too.
Enough ammo to do some damage, that's for sure.
It's just a normal meow.
Question is how much longer can he stay up there? Isolated from the rest of the team on a 3-1 wide split right now.
RCB ကတော့ minor ရဲ့လမ်းကြောင်းနဲ့တူပဲစပြီးဝင်လာရင်ရှေ့မှာ IS တွေရောရှိတယ်
cover off one another. But what Chips is doing is providing information. Could catch someone unaware.
ရှေ့ကနေလည်းကျွန်တော်ဒီ silent အောက်ပြီးနေ
of that mountain as well.
အော်အင်ဒိုနီးရှားအတင်းဒီဘက်ချမ်းတော့အင်ဘာလာဒီဘက်လမ်းဘက်ချမ်းလည်းရောက်လာပြီ
Trapped in that dangerous situation.
အဲ့ဒါတော့မရောက်သေးဘူးနော် sorry.
He's done for. There is no recovery on that.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble you're going to have to take in this scenario. And I think for D+ being so close to the central of that circle when it popped, I think you absolutely do go for that gamble. This point in time, right, you're not in first place already.
များလာမှာအင်ဘာလာဘက်များလာမှာဆိုတော့အပေါ်ဘက်ကိုပြန်ပြီးပေးဖို့ရခိုင်တော့များ
I don't think it's the wrong choice for D+.
နောက်မှာကျွန်တော် TK တွေစုံရတယ်လို့
to make work. But they trust themselves. They have confidence. That's what matters. RCB did make their way over towards truck stop. Pretty decent position to play. I mean, in terms of the rotational paths around them.
rotate ပြီးတော့ဝင်လာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကျွန်တော် RCB.
For Enigma Galaxy, they are right at the back of a very long queue on the south side of the map.
Rotational paths have never been planned more carefully, Blank, than in this match. With so much on the line, a 5-point difference between first and third place right now. The difference between bronze and gold here at Pmgc. Stands.
It's a top 10 around when
It's a terrifyingly close game.
I have
Influence Rage though, it's RCB.
1 point
So
Savia by
open up
RCB.
onto the 4th place team, already one elimination found.
EMEA and Turkey all happy to see that first point layered on top of the 137 RCB.
Charlie, I don't know. I have not where it
is still not out of the woods. There are
in the Maglas Sharo, let your overview on a live TK like Pinney. Sake Lia Lala Papali. Impala way. Pictomla. Never so you know. Never so you know. I do. Oh, holy shit!
The circle!
Woo!
Oh my god!
I know it, GG Lane, man.
We are going!
Come on! I love so you, GG. Okay, now so fine. Dema, the la papa, the dema, better pay now. So, second in no hope to be a geomet there. Tiki, if you buy, or Tiki Yawn, I don't call it. Nimaclasia, Tammy Pila, Yideo, Dido.
Circle. And he's played on top of it as well on these islands.
GG Dido, yeah, Giavi.
To the middle island.
Yeah, not the limit, the Jane of made of Yama or Dido Zone, you are. I don't mean out. The Niloma, the Jane of Mia, Dido Zone, and I. Put on Mia,
It is a coin flip. Your fate is decided by a 50-50.
The game Mianarama Bill, Imbala, Peter Man, is a low Mianarama Bill, a Colo Yi, Bull, yeah. I want to get fair bit.
And Team Spirit start to fall. Falcons as well. Everybody lemming after lemming. Into the water they go. This is truly unbelievable. I actually can't.
I did a mirror.
At this point in time.
Well, you just did a picking, yeah.
They'll have to fathom those deeps. On the eastern side, heading to the water. Action holding out versus Team Spirit as they make the mad dash downwards. Team Spirit not doing too badly. Here's RCB though.
Yeah, RCB by y'all like this sprint there.
Everything now because they are on the outside. They are slow to the islands. They were on the wrong side of this circle.
Okay, this sprint Piet Boy League on Piet Boy RCB.
4 elims found already for them. This is good news. If they're able to get a few more.
Oh, I gave a tie.
An awesome name from Sarah. Downwards finding 2. They just need the flushes to get up to 6, but they're swimming outwards.
Thunder Talk spot a player on D+ here on the mainland. The mainland, the tiny little island.
Are you kidding me?
This is insanity. Thunder Talk are taking their pound
of
flesh.
No, bro, no.
And it is a mad dash to these islands, and we just don't know where it finishes.
Okay, I'm going to
Maybe going for a different approach here, looking to hold out teams on this western side. It's a smart maneuver, in my opinion. That's a good average on the map. That's the average you want. Nigma Galaxy, they could just go down right now. They're playing on that southwest side. DRX are getting ahead of them. For RCB, they may have made the right call here.
With the volatility of this circle, Blank, this is an outside chance situation.
This is perfect.
On towards D+ Kia's island with Falcons and an outpost there as well. Everybody swimming. The vicious.
Well, we don't TJ the bounce out of Shin if he's on beam.
They are all making their way over to this mainland. But if you can pick up 30-point games, and on a circle like this, we've seen it. It happens. It can change it all.
Usually it's one team that kind of goes home with the whole case.
Yeah, RCB. I'll be fine. I'm going to do that.
Unfortunately for Influence Rage, they're an outside chance now. They're over towards the northwest side. They're crammed in with Thunder Talk with Alpha 7 with Navi. Gills making it across, and RCB are...
Okay, for we let Piat be like DJB.
Guardians at the gate, at the border here, down towards that western side.
Okay, like DRX have made landfall Enigma Galaxy are playing this so slow. They could have been on this island already, but they were a little bit more cautious with it. The swim across, this is the northern side, and the Falcons are going to pick up so many of these points here, or rather East is, which is going to slow the approach. They've lost a player. Oh, they're out.
They have
to push the DRX. What a way to close down the PMGC. 2024 has been such a year for these rosters, for these teams, these players. Everyone pulling their weight, but now it is desperation on the East Islands of Miramar for the final match when it's all on the line. And ahead of it all, it's RCB with 6 elims still on that mainland.
For RCB, basically they need to get a lot of success over on this western side. The difficulty is D+ technically have an unbelievable spot inside this circle. It's not out of the realms of possibility that D+ win this game easily from that spot. They do have 3 players. There are a couple of teams making their way through. Void Donkey ID is making their way down. East is down and Falcons are out.
The Vicious need to hold this north side. Void Donkey ID
DIHနဲ့ Nima Classic တွေ့ပြီးသား DIH က3ယောက်ကျန်နေသေးတယ် Nima Classic ကကျွန်တော်ဒီ full လိုက်ကျွန်တော်ရှိသေးတယ်အကုန်လုံးကုန်းဝရောက်လာပြီနော်
It's unlikely to end here blank. I think it's
DIH
almost
က
impossible with how the circle is going to develop these next few phases. But there's the first opener. And we're looking for more. RCB continue to collect their toll on the mainland side.
RCB, I think they played a blinder with this one. I don't think anyone fought to do this. They were like, look, we are not giving up our life. We're confident in our team fight. They're taking shots over towards that north side. They're taking more names right now. Influence Rage is weakened. One player is down. RCB might be taking more names than anyone on those main islands over towards the eastern side can find. And there it is, right onto the outwards.
And how much further can these teams go? RCB, sure, they've got points here, but D+ Kia have so much more distance to go in this one in terms of placements, in terms of being able to rack up the swimmers. When the fish jump into the barrel, they'll be all too keen to shoot down. Enigma Galaxy have to make their move to the south side as well. They have lost a player on that south island blank. DRX
chicken ရမှာ champion ဖြစ်မယ်ဖြစ်ကုန်မယ်နော်ငါလောက်ကောင်ကလေးတော်တော်များနေတယ်လားအကုန်လိုက်ကျုံနေပြီဒီဘက်ချမ်းမှာ
Loxy already out in the water, sees a couple, will find more of the eliminations.
Oh my
RCB
God.
is hunting
Oh,
the
they
Wolfpack on the prowl.
And I tell you what would be so good in a situation like
Yeah,
this,
cool
Blank. A hovercraft would be phenomenal to be able to cross this gap, but not on Miramar, not here, not now. Incilio do not have it, they will fall.
Little boy still off in the distance. RCB, they need to get as much value out of this as possible. They've had to send players all over the place to make this one happen. QXZ down, that's from D+ on the other side of things.
D+ Kia desperately need these points. They've got nothing so far, and RCB have got value. They are currently 10 points ahead. Blank, we were looking at the scorelines before this one on a tiebreaker. Unless D+ Kia win, they would win the tiebreaker. RCB win it, right? With 3 chicken dinners to their name, D+ Kia on 2, that tiebreaker goes the way of RCB. So if D+ Kia draw level, it's not good enough unless they take this chicken dinner as well.
Rotating around, they're looking for
ကုန်
more.
လိုက်ပစ်တာ TGB ရဲ့ YouTube ရေကူးဖို့လုပ်နေတာအကုန်လိုက်ပစ်တာ
He's probably just sitting on the outside. Wild.
ဖိုင်နယ်နောက်ဆုံး map ကိုလည်းလုံးဝ fresher လုံးဝမထားဘဲနဲ့ကျုံနေတာ
JB spray down to Wild, swings out the vehicle but doesn't finish the spray down, and there's pressure on him as well. Into the water they go, and RCB still have more life left in them, and Silas will be able to shut down the high ground. 6 elims for Sada on this match. Blank, you could not wish for a better substitute to come in.
Truly the super sub here for RCB.
Oh, bullshit!
They take fate in their own hands.
Oh.
They find a boat as well.
ဒါပေမဲ့ TGB တယောက်ကျန်သေးရဲ့
A boat is so vulnerable. As soon
Yeah,
as
you
you
know,
take
you're
shots,
on
you
the
need to
other.
hop
There's
out.
an opening.
But across they go, and there's an opening to be found. D+ Kia, they've taken down players in the meantime. Players from Enigma Galaxy, they're sending for the hills.
Oh, DIH
Redox
the
around.
comment.
The last 2 on the south side. DRX are away. But
Oh, my
RCB
days.
send over to the island. They're looking to try and get to land.
They're out.
And they're out by the waterfront. Guild looking to hold them from the bottom of the table to the top. RCB need to make it now. The mad dash up the beachfront, but a nade.
Another goes over the top. RCB lives are on the line here.
ဘယ်နဲ့ VC ကပြစ်သေးတယ် RCB ကမရတော့တယ်နော်
A ridiculous
There you go.
effort.
Wagner with a 1v4 hold on the cards could draw RCB slow, could take them down here. But they make the dash. Loxy and Wild are alive, and their placement opportunity goes up by the second.
Oh!
Loxy's down. Another big name.
Asian thing, Asian thing.
RCB, the wild card, last remaining, will go for the res. But Wagner, he's pushing, he's wading. But Diego saves him.
Oh, Diego!
Influence rage, and he gets knocked in the process.
This is such a big opening for RCB because now there's nobody. Mafioso, Lil Boy, they're too far away to have an impact now, and the reses are coming through. RCB could get a full reset, unless the Vicious are here to stop them.
Smart maneuver from Wild. They both go underwater. Sure, they're going to take a little bit of tick damage, but it's better than being exposed on that res. Two players are still down for RCB, unreservable.
Jakey. Oh, Wagner gets flushed, but Jakey's here looking for the pickups. Silas will bleed out. It's all up to Loxy to keep this one under control, but they've already got 11 points now, Blank. D plus Kia, they have 3. Oh, my goodness me. A little bit more needed to be safe. Wild can get res now. But it comes Mafioso. He's right there. Oh, dear. Oh, me, oh, my. V5 full fun.
Oh, my God!
They hold their line, and RCB with 12 are into the placement points now. They're away. They're out the gates. And it's only Jakey that can ruin it.
The reaction speed from Loxy, unbelievable, inhuman. And now Jakey with the DPS, but RCB still kicking. Pin pulled, and another good shot over the top side. RCB alive for a little bit longer.
Oh, Jakey, a sliver of HP. Someone needs to pull out a gun, but they can't because the Vicious are here suppressing. Wild is down. Influence Rage made landfall somehow through it all. And the nade over the top is Lil Boy. The crossfire.
Oh!
And another point goes their way.
This is disgusting. From RCB, Loxy has clocked in today. Lil Boy from Influence Rage, the player they left behind earlier, puts an end to it. But it's 13 points on the game.
And the placements as well. D plus chicken dinner, and they need it now. Ralph is still here to play, but he's the only one left for Enigma Galaxy. He's out in the cold, and he's down in the dirt.
Enigma Galaxy out. But they will not go all the way.
D plus Kia, they need it all. They need it now. They were 1 point behind at the start. 13 elims found for RCB. The placements added on as well. I'm not sure I can track who's in the lead right now if a chicken dinner comes through. But D plus Kia have more to go. They've got 3 players alive, leaving 6 more points available. An 11 elimination chicken dinner, if they can get it all, would give them 21 points, Blank. And I think that may just be enough, but only if they get it all, and they get it now. A knock from Vexy could place
Both teams are weakened. Raze as well as Diminor.
1 kilo, 1 kilo, yeah, 1 kilo, 1 kilo, 1 kilo, 1 kilo, 1
to be a 3rd place for D+.
No.
1 kilo.
Points going over to the Vicious could be
2 kilo.
all that RCB need to hold on to this to give Silas his 2nd title, to give the super sub his chance to lift the trophy.
Titanic effort coming through from RCB. The way that we have D+ set up here, it feels like maybe a chicken dinner's going their way. I think that would turn the tide.
It is right down to the wire, Blank. Goodness me, what a final circle. And this, I mean, I could not have asked for a better way to close this tournament down, to close this year out with a mad dash, the swim for survival and for glory. Nolbu, Osal, and Fabian for South Korea need to lock it down.
Need to lock in too. Last player from Voindonkey ID goes out. It has been a great run from them throughout PMGC groups into PMGC Grand Finals. The Vicious, D+, Stage 6 and 3 teams. 23 minutes, one of the fastest matches here on one of our longest maps.
The center of this circle, not easy to control. None of our teams occupying it. The buildings that sit on the northwest side of this island under control for Influence Rage. They have got one player out there, but the Vicious, I mean, they're 2 points away from D+ Kia as they roll around. And a 2v1 against Diego. Could be naughty. Reyes with the challenge, but Diego wins it on the first. Diminor with a nade over the top. Diego goes low, but doesn't go down just yet. Maybe not long for it, as the spray with the UMP finally connects. The point earned by the Vicious.
Looking to get involved. One player left remaining from
come on. Watch out. ไอ้กี้ရအောင်သွားယူတိုက်လို့လာတော့လာနေပြီ DK ကကျွန်တော် Novu နဲ့ကျွန်တော် OZ တက်လာပြီရေးဆော့တော့ No pressure လေ bro
I think it might be enough if they're able to get all 3 of these blanks.
ဟိုနေကနေရ
3 points remaining for South Korea.
ဘယ်တော့မှမသိဒီနာ ground တွေရတယ်ဆော့နေကြနေရမှာမဟုတ်ဘူးဒီလား
It's over, but RCB, despite farming the lobby from the mainland, could not make the swim.
ဘတ်တာ3ယောက်လုံးတော့ပူသွားတယ်
Unbelievable performance from RCB. But it is that last game we saw D+ get themselves a second place into. If it's a second place into a chicken dinner, I think you have to accept the fact that D+ deserved it.
Who was that do?
Circle heads back down D+'s way. But they are pushing onto the Vicious. This is their last obstacle.
2 nades in hand for Nolbu. He's seen them. He knows their location. A flank out wide from Osal.
Go on. Come on. Okay.
Now the rest.
3ယောက်မပူးနဲ့3ယောက်မပူးနဲ့
South Korea want to lift this trophy. They want to take it back. And D+ Kia could go all the way.
For Nolbu.
Oh, 1 kilo.
This be a point for D+. A change in behavior from him and PMGC descending to the front lines. And they didn't doubt him for a second as soon as he started spearheading into the water. Over towards that East Island, they followed him. And they might just be following him to the trophy here at PMGC 2024. 2 players stand in their way.
Influence Rage and the Vicious. The Americas in the way of South Korea now.
RCB ကိုတီးကြမတီးဘူးရှင်။ဘယ်လိုလုပ်တီးမှာရော
Point denial could change things here, Blank. I haven't run the numbers on it.
ဒီ leader point ဖလာ
An impact.
3နဲ့3ခိုင်တော့ပြီးပါပြီ။ဟုတ်ယူ
Could change the tide of this tournament.
It depends on the placement point.
3နဲ့စုဆိုင်ပြီးပြီ
I don't
leader point တော့ zone နဲ့ဝင်လာကောင်းတယ်
So shocked by this circle. If both points are denied, it's 16 points of the 13 elims and then whatever placement points on top.
အော်ကောင်း
There's the first.
ကောင်းတယ်ကောင်းတယ်ကောင်းတယ်ကောင်းတယ်ကောင်းတယ်ကောင်းတယ်ကောင်းတယ်ကောင်းတယ်
Has been denied.
ကောင်းတယ်ဆိုတော့ဟိုကောင်ရောက်သွားတာကောင်းသွားတာရောက်ပြီးသွားပြီငါလက်ခွားနဲ့မှာ
Spotted.
It is big and that's D+ with a chicken dinner.
They find the chicken dinner, but have they found the tournament? They don't know. They're waiting for confirmation.
Champion, right?
It is D+ Kia who have won the title. RCB
Okay, Jotiki, maybe my title here. Here we go.
The grind, they leave their rivals behind.
Yagavi, Tiki.
London, your PMGC 2024
The year of uncertainty. That D plus take home the trophy by 1
point.
You
1
must
point.
be joking. A 1 point difference between D plus Kia and Regnum Carabra, down to the most insane finish.
တကယ်我ကျွန်တော်ပြောမှာနောက်ဆုံးတစ်ကောင်မရိုက်သွားပြီနော်လို့
Grand Finals and D plus Kia
မတော်ပါ
to take it
ဘူးတော်ပါ
This team was able to show
ဟောနောက်ဆုံး chicken နဲ့ survivor ထိုင်းနေတယ်နိုင်တယ်
over again in Miramar. The biggest question mark was how are they going to be able to do in the other maps. It came down to the last match. They made the swim across first, and we've been talking about the whole year. We don't know what's going to happen.
လက်ပိတ်ဟုတ်ချန်ပီယံပဲပြဟုတ်ပြီလားပြတော် RCB လဲဒီစတူဒီကတနေ့ရပြီတော်ဟောဘာမှလာမပြောနဲ့လားဟာလာမပြောနဲ့တနေ့ရပြီတော်ပြီတူရကီရရင်ဒီတော့ Nova ရဲ့စံချိန်ချိုးသွားလိုက်တော်ပြီတော်ပြီဟုတ်လားတားရီတို့တော့ TK ရကောင်းတယ်နော်အရာအားလုံးကောင်းတယ် TK ရရလိုက်ရတဲ့မှာ
Congratulations D plus here. I gotta give some big props though to RCB. This team, we have heard over and over again a lot of teams saying we just didn't get blessed by the circle. We didn't have any favors from the circle. RCB took matters into their
မြန်ရတော့ဘာမှလည်းမလုပ်ဘူး UKS တွေစုပ်ပြလိုက်တော့ပေါ့နော်တိုင်းတို့နော်ဒီဘာတွေလည်းထွက်မလာအောင်ငါတော့ပါဒါစဉ်းစားကြည့်အမုံလေးတွေလည်းထွက်မလာဘူးရေးအမြန်မုံမတ်တွေစက်တီတုံးလိုက်တာ UK ကြီးရတယ်အဲ့လိုကြီးလုပ်ပေးတာကြီးမိုက်ပါမနေ့က IIC တွေရတဲ့ state မှာသူကကြည့်နေအောင်လှပတယ်ခန်းနာဆောင်းခန်းနာတာဟွာတယ်လားချန်ပီယံယူတဲ့အချိန်မှာ Oh my god အခုချန်ပီယံယူတဲ့အချိန်မှာမင်းတို့ကြည့်အောင်မင်းဖြစ်ကုန်ပြီမင်းတို့ပြောစရာကြီးဖြစ်ကုန်
And that's exactly what they ended up doing. Wild in the car just chasing down TJB, looking for every point they possibly could get.
I don't care how long you've been playing PUBG Mobile, especially at the competitive level. There's no way to prepare yourself for a zone finish like this, the position you're in for Silas. Insane
Tital.
stuff. Not to mention we had some records being broken as well as Reza able to get himself the 17 rescues to break out Fluket from Vampire Esports. But RCB, man, ridiculous stuff. Like for them to know we have to go for a little
Final MVP လားဟုတ်ပါဘူး
and to come one short with so many
record break တဲ့ record ချိုးသွားတာပါ VB ကကျွန်တော် flux ရဲ့ record ကိုကျွန်တော်ဒီ VD က Razer ကချိုးသွားတာပါဘာလာပြ
For this team, I mean, it comes down to just what could have been if they
ကချန်ပီယံပဲခဏဖို့မလိုဘူးတဲ့ဟာ
the fact that they were able to second place finish with Sara an emergency sub
ဘယ်ဘယ်အမုံလေးတော့ပါပါတယ်ကွာတဲ့အေးကွာအဲ့ယူမကျင်တော့ဘူးညာဒီလား TK ရတော့ဘာမှမပါလားမီးလည်းမထွက်လာအောင်စောက်ရေးမပါဘူးဒီလား
Pmgc second place Pmgc he can still go home with his head held high because he put up a phenomenal performance here and so did RCB.
I do have to say that looking back at Silas in particular, right, whatever team he gets on, you know he can make absolute greatness out of any squad he's going to be on, and they were so close to get 1 point in the last game and they really took matters in their own hands in the final moment. But Silas, I don't know where he's going to be by next year on what team, if he's going to maybe remain on this team.
အမြန်တင်းကိုရွှေဖဲပြားတွေနဲ့ချမပေးတာ DUK state ပဲရှိရတယ်ဟုတ်တယ်စုပ်ပြတ်တော့ရောက်ပြီလုံးဝငါတို့ကတကယ် report ပဲတိုင်းလို့လုံးဝ bad review ပဲရောက်ပြီ2024ရဲ့ UK state ရဲ့ final moment ရဲ့ဆောက်ချက်တီတော့နော်
yes
they have to come out with their heads held high because that was an amazing
တလို့ကြီးကွာစောက်ကြီးမပါဘူးကွာ
no expectations on this team
ကောင်းလေးစားငါတို့ဒေါ်ရထွက်တယ်ကြည်ရတယ်တီတုံး
as soon as we heard about the sub I
လောက်ခဲ့မြ PMGC state တွေမှာဒီ state စုပ်ပြတ်ဆုံးပဲ
I put him out of my top
ဒီတော့နောက်ကမလုံနေရဘူးဒီမှာတေတော်မလုံနေအောင်
boy did they prove me wrong Sara being able to be clutch too
ဟောဒီမှာလာလုံတော့မှာငါလက်ခွားထဲမှာကဲပေးဦးမှာအရွက်တွေ
Pretty much just eliminate everyone on the
yeah
like I understood that
push
I cannot wait to see all the clips as well
မောင်နဲ့တို့ဘောလုံးပွဲမှာ3လုံးကုန်သွားနေမယ်တဲ့အေးအဲ့လိုပဲနေမှာပါဒီမုံငွေမုံလည်းမဟုတ်တယ်ချန်ပီယံတဲ့အဲ့လိုကျဲပေးရမှာဗျာတိတ်တွေမရှိဘူးဗျာတဲ့လားဒီတိုင်းလေကွာဟိုကောင်တွေကခက်ကော့ကြီးဗျာ state မှာတဲ့လား
It's one of the best moments in esports as a whole, in my opinion. Like a finish like that, with a sub like that, with as close a finish between those two teams as we just witnessed today, that is madness.
all the faces in the crowd too as soon as we saw the circle everybody was like no
we did look at chora
it was insane stuff and honestly I don't even think the Frostborn Dragon can stand up against D plus
နောက်ဆုံးပွဲကတော့တကယ်ကိုကျွန်တော်လုံးဝရှာပါစာကေ what နှစ်မှာတစ်ခါတော့မြင်ရဖို့လုံးဝမရှိတဲ့စာကယ်မျိုးပေးတာရှင်ပြတသင်းမကိုမျက်နှာတာမပေးဘူးအကုန်လုံးကိုရေထဲပို့လိုက်တာဒါတော့မှတော့ TK ရေထဲမှာနှစ်ကောင်တော့တော့ရအောင်ပြန်ကေသွားတယ်လားကန်ကောင်းอ่ะ
Maybe we should reserve some for them because they're too busy lifting that trophy and celebrating.
Even got the cool little capes over there. They dripped out at the end of this match.
But D+, man, let's look back at this, right? If you think about every year at PMGC, South Korea has never been a force that we ever said, oh yeah, they have a chance to take the title. They have never really been
very long time since we have had a South Korean team being like, you know what, they could be contenders. But it's just the progression that we have seen out of this team.
ကဲကျွန်တော် voting ရကျွန်တော် TK ပါပဲတိုင်းတို့ YouTube ရောကျွန်တော်ဒီဘက် Facebook ဘက်က vote ပေးရလူတွေအားလုံးကျေးဇူးပါအားလုံးဒီအထက်တယ်ပဲ TK ပဲ vote တာဟုတ်လား
Yeah, it's the most important.
TK ပဲ voting အများဆုံးပါပဲတိုင်းတို့တကယ်လည်း champion ရပါနော် right
In their group yellow, we were looking at Mirren stage on looking at DRX like, oh wait, South Korea bringing the heat, but D+ Kia, which is a completely different beast going in these grand finals, and it's so nice to see a different region for the very first time claim an international trophy, not just an international trophy, the most important one,
that's if you're going to win a first global event, this is probably the best one to take home for yourself. I mean, obviously we're talking a lot about D+, we're talking a lot about Regnum Karya. But what about Enigma Galaxy? I mean, Farouf to bounce back as well with the split up that happened within his team within this year. Getting third place at PMGC. I know they're not going to be happy they didn't win, but they should be happy they came this far in such a short amount of time.
I have to be completely honest when it comes to Enigma Galaxy. In spring season, you would tell me they would win. I'd be like, there's no way in hell. But ever since the start of PMSL EMEA full season 2024, this year, I was like, wait, this roster they build up is a thing of... Go into the grand finals and actually being no contender until the very...
သူလည်းမပေးဘူးပြီးရင်ဗမာလဲစုဗမာလဲပတ်စံနေပြလေဒုက္ခရောက်ရေးရှုပ်ကုန်ပြီရောက်ရေးကြည့်ရ
He's going to be able to set them up in a way that they're going to be able to follow him, and he's going to set them up for greatness as well. We saw it over and over again.
ဘလောက်ရလဲ 1 2 3ဘာတွေပေးရလဲပြလေဘယ်သူမှမပြတော့ဘူးရောက်ရေးစောက်ယူတွေပဲပြနေတယ်စောက်ရေးမပါဘူးကွာစောက်ရုံးမကောင်းတော့
Amazing right now. Do not change the players. Stick with them for the rest of next year. I really hope that's going to happen.
I agree with you.
I mean, not to mention, if we look down the rest of the list here of our grand finals of who actually came in like 4th place as well, you got to give a lot of credit to, I believe, Influence. He
didn't
hit that nade on Regnum Karya.
Oh.
It could have been RCB celebrating the win.
It's down to just that 1 point. We said it at the start today. A 1 point could make the difference.
Yeah, total 3 million. Oh my god.
What about DRX? If you're talking up D+, they also had a fantastic performance. Not much expectations for them. They come into this putting on a very good fight.
I think they just had a little bit of a slow finish here because so many teams are competing at the top, right? Regnum Karya, you're looking at D+, you're looking at Enigma Galaxy. It's tough to stand out in the lobby that's just so stacked at the top. But Hyunbin, I know we talked about him so many times. In his first year, I know the next time he's going to come in with a vengeance to try and finally claim the trophy here.
Speaking of coming in for a vengeance next year, what about Voin Donkey? They had a phenomenal performance. No one expected them to come out as SCAs to be the team. And yet they finished off 5th place.
Coming in with the team that just didn't have that much experience at a global event, the way that they were able to just continue to improve, the way that they were able to just kind of grow up right in front of us in regards to just maturity, the way that they were able to perform overall. I'm excited to see what they're going to be capable of. We know that Defi is going to try to get them back into the PMGC Grand Finals.
Yeah, able to see a team mature so quickly in just the span of a month and a half is just absolutely insanity. And I mean, for next year, again, going back into SCA, I really hope we see Voin able to go the entire way and maybe global events in Africa.
Certainly, but what about the year of new blood as well? Vicious. I mean, obviously, they didn't finish up towards the top of the table, but for a team Brazil are taking their spot. Great performance. I never would have thought they would have made it this far.
So many roster changes. Who are you going to pick?
အဆုံးကြည့်ပေးအားလုံးကျေးဇူးများတင်ပါတယ် YouTube ပရိသတ်တွေရောကျွန်တော်တို့ Facebook ပရိသတ်တွေရောတယောက်ချင်းအားလုံး thank you ပါမခံစားနိုင်တော့ပါဘူးဒါတို့ရေပိတ်ပါပြီဗျာစက်တွေတုံးလုံးလို့ပါလို့တော့ Oh my god
Let's head down to the stage for a final time.
Welcome back to the main stage for the 2024 PUBG Mobile Global Championship Award Ceremony. We would like